Ashley. Are you a friend?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Spirits of Spirits, episode
Hello.
29. Well, hello to you two. I'm your host,
Hello.
John. That is your gracious host, Dave, all the way from California. How are we doing tonight, Dave?
I feel like I've been chased a fart through a knothole
No.
backwards, but other than that, I'm doing okay.
Uh, you might hear Dave maybe sneezing and sniffling a little bit tonight.
Sniffing and coughing and sneezing and
Sound like he's got his nose plugged up a little bit there, too. But
yeah.
that doesn't stop us from doing the show. I
No,
will.
neither rain nor snow nor sleet nor dead of night can stop me from talking about the paranormal.
That's right. All right. So fine print out the way. Just want to thank Anchor. Anchor is what allows us to take the audio portion of this live cast and put it out to all these great places like Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Breaker, Pocket Cast, Radio Public. So if you can't catch it live, you can catch it on your favorite listening devices. So go ahead and hit that play button on your Spotify or Apple Podcasts or whatnot. And man, hit that like button too. Let us know that you like us. Also want to thank Restream. Restream allows us to multicast different spots. Places like our Facebook page, Spiritual Spirits, our YouTube page, D Live, Twitch, Vaughn Live, and even Twitter. So if you can't catch us on one, you can catch us on many. So thank you for Restream. Spirits episode 29. What are we talking about tonight, Dave?
We are talking about at least the most haunted city in the United States, if not the world.
Man,
Savannah, Georgia.
the world, man. It's up there. I mean, that's Savannah, Georgia. Now, unlike a lot of things that we like to talk about with Savannah, Georgia, normally like we'd pick like three different cities, right? I like to talk about,
Right.
but Savannah, Georgia is such a prominent place with paranormal activity and vampire culture that
Huge.
it's we're just gonna stick on Savannah for tonight.
Right. Just gonna talk about the town in general, because there's so many spots there
Dude,
with paranormal activity. So much, in fact, they have several ghost tours that go around town.
dude, this place has more ghost tours than New Orleans.
Yeah.
I was like, you click Savannah, Georgia haunted tour, and you'll probably hit 100 easily of that place. I mean,
Great.
that you're worried. I'm a little worried too. I think there's people prominent making up a lot of stories, but which they probably shouldn't have to. Um, this place has seen what 3 wars in its
True.
time. Yeah, troop. Exactly.
True.
3 wars. You got the Civil War, Revolutionary War, the Battle of 1812, the siege on Savannah. I mean, this
I hear you.
I hear you too.
Thank
This
you.
place is just prominent for paranormal activity in a city in itself. So I wrote down a couple of different places I kind of want to talk about tonight. I'm pretty sure Dave kind of did the same thing. Um, there's a lot to talk about on Savannah. Don't forget, if you guys want to chime in, you can always message right in the box there. You can, if you want to get a little FaceTime with us, you can click on that link. And if you just want to call in, go ahead and use that phone number, and we'll listen to what you got. If you guys want to put your 2 cents in. So Dave, I'm gonna leave it to you, man, because this is a bucket list item for you, if I remember right.
Side.
Oh yeah, this is one of the places that I want to visit strictly for paranormal reasons and for history.
History,
It's got a rich history,
huge history.
but yeah, oh my goodness, it's just so much. There's so much to talk about. I mean, for example, do you know there are underground tunnels in Savannah?
Factors walk.
Factors Walk,
Okay, all right. So I saw something a little about that when I was doing a little bit of research,
right?
and
No.
I went to go back to find
Here.
beer. Hey, beer.
Beer.
I went to go find more about it, and I lost where I saw it, and so I wrote nothing down about it. But I wanted to read more about the Factors Walk. And the reason why I do remember reading that the reason why it was called the
Day.
Factors Walk is everybody that worked in the factories would actually walk these tunnels and whatnot to get to work in the back of the factories.
Right.
They just started calling it Factors Walk. But I do remember reading that part, and then I kind of skipped over and started reading something else, and then I forgot where I was, and I totally lost it. But I heard that place is haunted too.
Fused.
Hmm.
But I also heard there's also you're confused. I don't know. I also heard there's a bunch of uh they're all mostly sealed off now too, aren't they? I think that's
Yes.
why I skipped over it is because they're like mostly sealed off, can't visit them and whatnot.
Yeah. So I mean, there are a few places. Well, the Factors Walk, for example, but let's see. Um, it's like beneath the streets is a subterranean level of Savannah. Savannah is not that is not often seen, though it is often discussed with hush whispers and local lore. Um, so, and it says here, many people are under the impression that you can take a tour of the tunnels underneath. This isn't true.
Brought you here.
What brought us here?
Well, that's weird because daughter and boyfriend just came home.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, it does. It does say all the tunnels, all the known tunnels, are blocked off for safety reasons.
Yeah, which worries me because they got sidewalks over the top of these.
Right.
So they're not safe to go into, but they're safe to walk on.
Yeah, they're safe to walk over, but you can't go in.
Help me out here.
Yeah. I'm trying to understand what you talk about.
I don't
But yeah, that's
understand
kind
this
of why I
thing.
wanted to talk about it first. Yeah, I didn't know about the tunnels until I read about it the other day. And yeah, they have it all blocked off, but yeah, they have um the Factors Walk is named for the cotton factors of the 19th century,
Yeah.
which made antebellum Savannah rich and famous. Factors Walk remains one of the least discussed locations in the city,
Why? And then that's weird. Why is that not discussed?
right?
What happened?
Those those who were enslaved were brought into Savannah by being led into the buildings of River Street.
Oh,
Behind those buildings lay Factors Walk, now the home to many sealed off tunnels that would have descended under Bay Street and into the basements of those buildings. Basements like the Moon River Brewing Company, which is one of
oh,
the ones on my list,
okay.
which is now regarded as one of the most paranormally active locations in the city,
Really?
where the spirits are sinister and oftentimes violent.
And that's at the Moon River
At
Brewing
the
Company?
Moon River Brewing Company.
Oh, wow. Now,
So I just,
can you
but
get into
my
the
thing
tunnel
was,
there?
I think you can see it. I don't think you could probably, because the tunnel apparently goes into a lot of the buildings, and this is kind of what I wanted to touch on with these tunnels is they're connecting all these buildings, right?
Free.
Gateway for the paranormal
Right.
or a travel way.
Yeah,
It now
some kind of portal.
it's
So
no
I
longer
think the
factory locked,
spirits
it's
can go
spirit
building to
locked.
building. Yeah, I don't think. I mean, unless they have to be. I think this is a way that you know people walk from building to building, right? Like you said, when they when they were working in the factories, they went
My
underground.
Why are you here? Well, I'm hoping you're here to talk with us on the show.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, but it says, at Factor's Walk, the ghosts are no less quiet, which can be expected as thousands of people were separated from their families and forced into slavery.
yeah, I can see why they don't talk about it too much.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a bad
For
time
the for the
country.
brave souls who wander down that way, the heavy wooden doors that once opened to the dark tunnels beneath the street go back to the 1700s. Dark shadows have been seen darting in and out, and sometimes even follow the living wherever they might go.
Oh, huh.
Factor's
Is it?
Walk is a symbol of Savannah's dark past, and its ghosts were all too eager to remind those who visit that the beauty of Savannah was constructed by the souls who lost their freedom.
them.
So listen.
Oh, that's interesting. Stand next to the doorway of one of the old tunnels and pause for a moment. Listen and wait for the sounds of footsteps padding along the cobblestone street. And just know that you hear another pair of footsteps in tune with yours as you leave because you
Oh,
aren't
wow.
alone.
Sword.
Forward.
Forward.
Wow.
So just I'm just my thought was, oh, these tunnels like connect all these buildings. So could that, and with the slavery and the, I guess, the pain that the people suffered that had to go through those tunnels, there just has to be a lot of activity. I know everything's all boarded up and blocked off, but
Yeah.
that doesn't mean the ghosts can't travel through them.
Kinda reminds me of, like, a little bit of, like, old Seattle too,
Oh yeah. Well,
huh? Being
shoot,
built
San
on top
Francisco.
yeah, San Francisco, another city built on top of a city.
Yeah, there's so many
King.
places with underground tunnels and passageways and things like that,
And I never really thought about it being a paranormal subway,
right?
where
I
they
just thought
could
it
they're
was
all
interesting,
connected.
because of this web of tunnels going from building to building, and it makes me wonder that could they be using this to move about?
Leah.
And Julia's here,
Hi, Julia.
though. That's interesting. I never thought of them that way, when I hear about tunnels. I mean, the only tunnels I really thought of really are the tombs under France,
Oh, the catacombs.
catacombs,
Yeah,
but
that's always my first thought,
yeah, but those are I don't but those are tombs. I feel like that's more of just one
that's
giant
more of a,
tomb
yeah, they're just buried
tunnel.
there. Yeah, this is,
Oh,
well, like the ones in San Francisco or even Locke. There
shit, I forgot about
there's these underground tunnels that people had to go through because it was too embarrassing,
yeah, for the
or
Chinese.
they were kidnapping people, like the old expression, and that's where um, San Francisco comes to mind because that's the expression of
That was
being shanghaied,
Yeah, that was for the Chinese,
right?
was kidnapped, yeah.
And
Uh, it I just never thought of them as, like, a paranormal
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
walkway
I'm just
or
thinking
transport
because it
or
was a walkway that maybe in death the
they're
ghosts
still
travel
using
this
them.
too. They're still using it,
And that brings to the question, can you get the same ghost in multiple different buildings?
right?
Or is it this ghost following this path to its old workplace, this old work factory it used to go into every day, and that's its route? It can't change its route.
Right. I mean,
Or
especially
or
if it's residual, it probably can't change its route.
I'm dead.
offended.
I'm so sorry you're offended.
Okay, I guess it could change his route.
I guess so. There's certain people can.
It, I'm
So, but I mean, that's like
you
this
know, 'cause
one because of its inaccessibility now. On my list of things
yeah,
to see in this town, it's like at the bottom. But you can go into some of the buildings and stuff and at least see where the tunnel came out
yeah.
Call.
under the building.
Well, it's just interesting because I mean,
Stop.
no, we've talked about ghosts haunting multiple different locations before,
Right.
but to see that they actually have a place that's completely closed off to the public that they can use at their whim to go to multiple different locations kind of really opens up that idea of being able to see a certain specific ghost. Like you can catch a ghost in a picture at the brewery, go 4 buildings down 20 minutes later as it took you and take another picture and see the same damn ghost.
Right. Wouldn't that be
Very.
cool?
That would freak me the fuck out.
Right. Somebody's following me, god dang it.
Going through your photos, you're like, wait a minute.
I
Well,
think that's
that's
the
2 different
same thing.
that's
What?
wait a minute. That's 2 different spots.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I never that would yeah, that'd freak me a little bit out. I'm like, "You gotta see this." Yeah, that'd be on Facebook. "Check this out." So, dude, I mean, there's so much to talk about in this
There's
place.
so much to talk about in this place. I mean, like I said, I've got like 30 somewhat places to talk about in this place. So,
Well,
are we going to be able to go through them all? Probably not.
probably not.
Call.
Uncle
But I
twice.
mean, just read a little bit of each one,
Yeah, so
and then
did you read about the Bonaventure Cemetery at all?
yes,
I there's a one story in particular that kinda stuck out to me about that place, and that was Grace Watson, the 6-year-old girl that died.
yep,
And
1869.
yeah, in 1889.
She died of pneumonia in 1869. That's what I read.
I read 1889. Huh, that's odd. Or maybe I just read it wrong and wrote it down wrong. Who knows? But Grace Watson, either way, within a 20-year span, she
Yeah.
died at 6
Anyway,
years old.
she died. She died in the 19th century. We'll just go with that.
6-year-old girl. Father was pretty heartbroken, but he had a statue made, or like lifelike statue made for her headstone.
Right, and I have a picture of it.
Yeah, I saw that picture. It's actually a pretty good
Pretty
statue,
good,
honestly.
pretty good
But the big
carving.
one
Yeah,
about that, I mean, yeah, they see her spirit hopping around, headstones, and they can hear children weeping and whatnot. But the crazy thing about this, people like put money and gifts at the headstone.
yeah,
Um, thing cries tears of blood. That
yeah.
I was like, no.
That's like some Virgin Mary shit right there. But
uh,
it actually says it could cry actual tears.
did it say
But
actual tears on there?
actual
But I
tears,
saw
yeah,
tears of blood is what I read on my thing, and I was like, that's not
Child.
normal. Child.
child, great. Jeez, I'm gonna be drinking a lot tonight.
Yeah. Uh, I found that little story there about it was pretty fascinating to me. And I don't know what so many movies come to mind when I think about that, and none of them say anything good about a statue crying tears of blood.
Right,
And then you think not just the paranormal aspect, you think about the vampire culture that's in that area,
Oh yeah,
and
there's a huge masquerade
huge
culture.
masquerade there. Uh, that when I think about that, it again takes me back to like Interview with the Vampire when he's first getting his senses back, and he sees the statues crying and all that good stuff, and looking at him. I'm like, why tears of blood? That's what throws me off. I could see tears, sad child crying, get it, she's dead, but tears of blood is what threw me off.
Yeah.
But Bonaventure Cemetery itself is uh that's just like one little story that clicked into my head when I was reading. It might be the more prominent story of Bonaventure Cemetery, but if I remember right, Renee Rodelier is part of the Bonaventure Cemetery too, and that's a dude that's like 7 foot tall who used to love to dig up graves and then snap the necks of animals, and then he snapped the neck of a child and found that fun, and so he started snapping the necks of people to where the townspeople actually hunted him down and hung him in the cemetery.
Oh well, that's nice.
But they see him creeping around the cemetery too. And I'm sorry, a 7 foot specter walking around the cemetery is not something I think I'd want to see.
Yep.
uh, he reminds me of Mice and Men for some reason. I don't know why.
Huh. The Bonaventure Cemetery sits on the grounds of a former plantation.
Yes.
Oh, and it's there's a the book, The Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil, at cemetery is mentioned.
Yeah. That's very prominent with the
On to
Mercer Williams house. You want to what?
Bird girl statue.
You see burnt girl statue or bird
Bird.
girl?
Oh, so okay, there's in the movie or in the book, there's a photo of a bird girl statue that was at the cemetery, but it's no longer there. It's at a museum.
Oh wow. That's crazy that they took that out and put it in a museum. What was prominent about that? That's
I don't know.
interesting.
I'm trying to find that out. Ooh, that's a pretty picture.
Dude, they had some awesome pictures of downtown Savannah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's not what I wanted.
So yeah, that's an interesting spot. Um,
I always wanted to go to Georgia because I just wanted to see if their peaches were any better than anybody else's.
right. What's supposed to be it's this peach state. So
I figure if I was going to Georgia, I was going to go to Savannah because it's Savannah.
right.
But this is reading up on Savannah, Georgia opens up a whole different reason on why to go to Georgia.
Yeah. So the
check.
next one I wanted to talk about was Bradley's Lock and Key.
Bradley's Lock and Key.
Bradley's Lock and Key. And I'll get to the meat of it. But this is um the reason why is because there's a ghost there, that a pretty famous ghost is supposed to be there. So the the building was built in 1855 for Patrick Duffy. After transferring
Oh,
hands for the first few years, the building became home to Bradley's Lock and Key. As the signs placed on the side of the building
Use
state, They have been in business since 1883. Okay, and then it talks about how this place is full of attached objects.
Really?
Yeah, when you look inside the shop, you will notice that the entire store is filled with all sorts of nostalgic goodness. A prevailing theory when dealing with ghosts and spirits is that they can attach themselves to objects. Another way of seeing this is that if an object is meant a lot to a person, it can retain a person's energy, which is
Yeah.
something we talked about.
Yeah.
Um, the one exciting piece of information regarding this location it is the idea that the ghost of Harry Houdini may be haunting Bradley's lock and key.
Do you have one of Harry Houdini safes in there or what?
I don't know. Okay, so it says while we don't find any proof to this, as the relationship to between Houdini and the location tend to be exaggerated. They have no idea. We've never investigated the location, though it is on the list. Once we spend a few nights inside, we'll be sure to report back on anything we find. So it's not proven, but they say that the ghost of Houdini haunts this location. And I'm thinking there's an object that he might be attached to. A safe, pair of handcuffs,
Yeah, I'm wondering what they got in there for
something.
Houdinis. That's awesome. If they got, I loved Harry Houdini.
Oh yeah, dude.
World's greatest escape artist until he wasn't.
Indeed.
Right.
What is the date?
Brandy wants to know what the date is. I believe it's December.
Thank
December
you.
18th. You're welcome.
You're welcome.
Guess
18th.
she just
Okay,
wanted to
yeah.
know it was December.
Yeah. Uh,
Married.
no,
I am married.
Dave's married. I'm not married. Uh, Houdini was married.
Houdini was married. And
That's
Houdini
her.
was very into the paranormal.
But yeah, he was a big paranormal, big paranormal.
Huge. Yeah, he was huge.
Actually, yeah, if I remember right, was it the Pfizer files, Kaiser files, Holzer files?
Holzer files.
He's on one of those.
Said closer.
Me.
Help
He is
you
on
out.
the Holzer files. Is that close enough? Closer. He is on the Holzer files. I'm losing my voice. Um, I can't get any closer. I was like right on the phone.
Yeah, he was a uh, big paranormal uh
Let's
buff.
see.
He liked that stuff.
So founders. Okay. So it says, reading a little bit more on it, it says the shop was founded by the Bradley family in the 1800s. The founder's son was friends with Harry Houdini
Oh,
and even named his son after him.
really?
Yeah.
Wow.
His son was named William Houdini Bradley.
Wow. I
And
thought it was
that person actually
You.
died in 2019. About that.
wow.
Um,
It's starting.
I know.
uh,
Medicine.
medicine. You
Medicine.
need some medicine, Dave?
I took some medicine, but I could use a little bit more.
uh,
I got a 12-ounce
Pat,
bottle can of medicine.
that building being built for Patrick Duffy is kind of interesting too.
Right.
If it's the Pat Duffy I'm thinking of, but oh. Did you read up on 432 Abercorn Street?
Yeah.
That place is a little interesting, but not a lot of information for that place because it's still a privately owned house, but they talk a little bit about it. But the craziest thing about that, it's actually built on top of a slave burial site.
Yep. They God, what was it? There's a lot of stuff about that place. And they say where is it? I think it's actually one of the top spots.
Right? But you can't go in it.
No.
If I remember that list that you were talking about earlier, I think it's like number 1 on there.
Yeah, it is number 1. It's funny though because they say a lot of the rumors are made up. A lot of the stuff is hoaxed
Yeah.
about the hauntings there. But yeah, you can't go in it because it's owned. So, um,
Yeah, because that's the house that the dude okay, so was it
Fight.
Williams? Williams? I wanna say
I can't.
Williams.
you can't. Why
You
can't you?
can't what? What did it say before that?
So
he was,
yeah, Benjamin Wilson and his
yeah, Wilson
family.
Wilson. So his wife dies, like, a month after they move into this place, and him being I guess he almost loses himself. He's a hardened soldier fighting out of the, Civil War
Star.
soldier, and he's hardened from war, and then his wife dies, and he goes into deep depression, but pulls himself out of it for his kids. But a
Yeah,
lot a lot of the rumor from that is how he treated his kids, like, evidently his daughter I don't know how his daughter really died, but evidently his daughter was playing with kids that she wasn't supposed to be playing with at school, and so he told her not to play with them, and then she's like, "Well, screw you, Dad, I'm gonna play with them anyways," and he finds out she's still playing with them. So he ties her to a chair in her bedroom, looking out the window where she could see all the kids playing, but couldn't go nowhere, like extreme grounding. And then she ends up dying of heat exhaustion, basically of a heat stroke, and he doesn't even realize she's dead till like the next day when he goes in there and finds her. But I guess then they say the whole thing gets swept under the rug. But it's all you're reading this and it's like, yeah, but that's all rumor.
yep.
Is your name?
I'm John. That's Dave.
I'm Dave.
But it's I was like, why you gotta
But
tell
yeah,
that
it's
story? It's all
yeah,
a
it
rumor.
it says yeah, they talk about this and it says there's no truth to the story about Benjamin Wilson. Um,
Did his daughter really die in there? I mean, what's going on?
yep. According to rumors, Mr. Wilson's punishment techniques went well beyond a spanking or sending his child to the room without supper. His punishments were said to be excessive and borderline cruel. Then one day, Mr. Wilson crossed the cruelty line. The incident pushed him over the edge, should never have been considered an incident in the first place. It was the post Civil War era when racial tension and hatred were still threatening to completely destroy the United States. The country had just reunited after being split in half by a gruesome and bloody war. Also, one must remember that the United States had only been a country for less than a century,
Yeah.
still an infant when compared to their counterparts in Europe. The story began innocently. Mr. Wilson's daughter was playing with the children from the Massey School. Well, the children who attended Massey were a collection of the city's poor, mainly orphans and African American students. Mr. Wilson was not pleased by his daughter's choice of friends and heartily disapproved of a proper young girl like his daughter playing with children from a lower class. Upon his daughter's arrival home, Mr. Wilson proceeded to berate her without mercy until he believed she received the message. However, this would prove not to be the case as the daughter had no intention of obeying her father's command.
Screw off,
No,
Dad.
she knew he was wrong in his beliefs and was determined to pay him no mind. Uh, So yeah, very next day, went back to the school, played with the friends. Did not take
Well,
long for Mr. Wilson to learn that his daughter had not heeded his warning. She needed to be taught a lesson. Wow.
Yeah.
For his daughter's continued disobedience, Mr. Wilson grounded her to a room, isolated from everyone. But this wasn't a simple case of locking her away in a room. So he took a chair, placed her right in front of the bedroom window, a window that overlooked the area outside the Massey school where the students routinely gathered to play. He then dragged his daughter to the chair while she desperately kicked and screamed for her. Mr. Wilson forced his daughter to take a seat, tying her wrists and binding her ankles to the arms and legs of the chair. She was left there to look out the window.
Yeah. During a heat wave, evidently.
do I
Huh.
do?
What do you do? I don't know what you do at
I
that
don't know
point.
what you do.
Yeah, Rachel
Huh.
says, "Yeah, fuck you, dad." That's exactly what she said. You're wrong. Yeah, she ends up dying, and then no charges were pressed or anything. But again, and then like it's all rumor.
Yep.
Well, then why bring it up? What makes that place so haunted when everything you talk about the place is just rumor?
Huh. That's interesting. Okay. So, okay. So it's also saying that after his daughter died, he killed himself in that chair, shot
Like,
himself.
and that, yeah, but that's rumor too.
Yep. So, so it says, but here's the truth. Benjamin Wilson did not commit suicide at 432 Abercorn. He didn't even die in the state of Georgia.
Yeah,
Mr. Wilson passed away peacefully in 1896 in the state of Colorado.
yeah.
As for Mr. Wilson's children, he did indeed have a daughter, two actually. However, neither of the daughters died in the Abercorn house. The eldest Wilson daughter having long past her childhood, in fact, she lived to be in her 80s. As for the elder Wilson daughter, she married into one of the most affluent families in Savannah. Huh. So, how did the rumor come about? Maybe Mr. Wilson was abusive to his children and was harsh in dealing with punishment. This led to rumors about Calhoun Square.
Yeah, Calhoun
And
Square is supposed to be one of the most haunted.
yeah, well, it's that building, that house is in Calhoun Square.
Yeah.
Huh. That's interesting. But yeah, that's what I was wondering about this place. Is I was like, they say it is
See,
one of, if not the most haunted place in Savannah, but all the stories behind it seem to be false.
Yeah. So what besides the tourism trap, that's the only thing. It's like I mean, yeah, Calhoun Square itself, there's a lot of hauntings and paranormal activity in that square, but what makes this building more prominent other than the rumors about Wilson? So that's what
Yeah,
I think the only true part of that whole thing is that his wife dies a month after they move in.
right. So I'm trying to figure out. There's another rumor about a triple homicide that occurred there.
Oh, I didn't see that one.
Um, Sometime in the late 50s to early 60s, When the owners of the house were a young husband and wife, the couple lived in the house with their two daughters. Around one holiday season, the couple invited family friends to spend their family vacation at their home. The family friends took the young couple up on their offer, came to visit, blah, blah, with their two children.
Hmm.
During the evenings, the adults would go out on the town, enjoying Savannah's nightlife, unwisely leaving the four children, at home alone without any supervision. On one of the night on the last night of the friend's vacation, the adults stayed out a little longer than usual. When the adults finally arrived home, they went to check up on the children before going to bed, but as they entered the children's room, they were shocked to discover three of the girls had been viciously murdered and contorted together to form a
Away.
triangle.
Immune.
Huh.
Their bodies lay bloody, sliced open with their organs removed. The fourth child was later found hiding in one of the other rooms, curled inside of a closet, frozen in fear. Some say that the current owner of the home is the fourth girl, and that she believes the house is cursed, and that anyone who lives in it will die. It is for this reason that she lets the house sit abandoned, vowing that no one will ever occupy the house as long as she lives.
Oh wow.
And then it goes on to say this story is equally as disturbing as the Wilson family tale and also equally as false.
Yeah, because there's people that live there.
Perhaps this is why the current owner is so annoyed with the constant touring around the house. Wow. The third most common story about the house might be the most absurd of all. This is going to be interesting. Years ago, a student at the Savannah College of Art and Design found himself staying at the Abercorn house. One night, he disappeared, never to return again. Some say he was transported to another dimension by the will of demons. I just, oh my God.
Oh.
Other demonic rumors that is told about the house is that the founder of the Church of Satan,
It's
Anton LaVey, tried to buy the house for the purpose of using it as a base of operations for the East Coast branch of the Church of Satan. These stories too have been disproved.
So
So
this whole
so
basis
yeah,
of this place
everything
being
that I
on,
read about this place is apparently false.
Where
yeah,
did you come?
it's all rumor. I came
Yeah.
to a show. Why'd you come?
It's all rumor and speculation, but still nobody's allowed in the house.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, if you live there, you probably wouldn't want a bunch of people walking into your house.
Oh yeah, heck yeah. I mean, it's bad enough that they have ghost tours. They all walk around the house and stuff, and they
Yeah.
probably say all this stuff. So they're probably standing outside the house. Everybody's taking pictures and stuff.
Yeah. Imagine being on that tour and the guy's telling the story, and also he goes, "Yeah, but it's all false." And you're like,
Yeah, but none of
"Oh,
it's true. So what are we doing here? What the
yeah.
hell?
Let me tell you another story." "Oh, but that's not true either." What the why is
Yeah.
this on the
Oh,
tour?
I'm like, oh, triple homicide. That sounds good, but it's false. Oh well,
Yeah.
crap.
Why is this on the tour?
Yeah, it's like you're going to sneeze and then you don't sneeze.
Yeah.
What
That
do you want?
that bugs
Uh,
the hell out of me.
yeah. Yeah. And then I didn't read much on the Mercer Williams house. I know it's like a big prominent in that movie in
Doomed.
the garden, Secret Garden of Midnight, whatever the fuck it's called. Uh all I know is they fucking hate that that movie is about this house.
Oh heck yeah. Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil.
Yeah. You ever seen that movie?
Yes.
It's been
Long
a long
time ago
time since
though.
I've seen it.
Yeah, it was a long time.
I'm trying to remember who was in that. Wasn't it
Fine.
God, who was in that movie? I can see his face, but I can't. Isn't it the guy that does the what's that movie where he does all the writings for the CIA? And he's hunting that serial killer with the freaking truck with the big rig.
I think
And
John Cusack is in it.
yeah, I think Cusack's in
Yeah,
it too.
John Cusack, Kevin Spacey,
Well, all I know is the people. I guess
Jude Law.
Jude Law. Yeah, yeah. I forgot he's in there. God, someone else in there, right? And I can't remember his name. But yeah, the people. I guess one of the original. I don't want to say one of the original owners, but ancestor, whatever, daughter, whatever, sister. I don't know. Somewhere along those lines, still owns the Mercer Williams house and hates the fact that movie was written about it.
Well, yeah.
Did you read about the Sorrel? Was it Sorrel Weed House
Yep, that's on my list.
with the wife Matilda and the mistress Molly, both of be ending up dead there? So the wife, so basically the husband
Ew.
starts having an affair with one of the housekeepers, puts her in a special lodge above their room. Wife finds out about it. She jumps off the third story, kills herself. I guess like the next day or the week later or something like that. The mistress is found hanging from a noose in the garage. I want to say garage. I could be wrong. I hear your thing saying no.
Yeah, saying no.
uh, well, no, they got like they what they call like a green was it a green vortex in the house that'll make you feel ill and whatnot. You know, feeling of being choked when you're in the basement. It's a prominent place for the battle of the siege of Savannah.
Yeah, where the heck is it?
Um, over 1,000 men died on that location. People see apparitions in the dining room mirror looking back at them. Of course, lights flashing on and off, but it's an old house. But they get EVPs of voices and screams, and it and dark shadows everywhere. That one actually seemed pretty prominent. Sorrel, Sorrel, in Weed House.
Yeah, I know I had it. I was still looking at
Which one?
the
The
Mercer house.
Mercer House. Oh, the Mercer Williams house.
Yeah,
I didn't see a lot of big stories on that. Really.
yeah, it's interesting. So it says there are the reports usually include commonalities like apparitions, disembodied voices, phantom footsteps, and the feeling of being watched.
Is that the
Excuse me.
Mercer House or the Sorrel House?
That's the Mercer house.
Oh, okay.
D.
And evidently Judy's joining us.
Welcome, Judy
Kyle.
and
And
Kyle.
God damn it, Cal.
I was about to go, best friend Kyle.
Screw you, Cal.
Damn it, Kyle.
Oh, I gotta watch that after COVID South Park. When they're all grown up. Sorry.
So the
Which one
story
are
of
you reading?
Jim Williams, the Mercer Williams house.
Mr. Williams house. Okay. You gonna make it?
Yeah, hope so. Um, so the Mercer Williams house most famous resident is Jim Williams. Some say he was a killer, others say he was at worst very eccentric.
Really?
Um, it talks about a trial. So it says years after the trials, Judge George Edward Oliver. Oh yeah, because he was tried for murder.
Yeah. Yeah, and he got away with it.
Yeah. It says after the trials, Judge George Edward Oliver, who presided over 3 of the trials, was quoted as saying, "That son of a gun, Jim Williams, was absolutely guilty of cold-blooded murder."
And never got convicted of it.
Yep.
But
The
he
judge
also
went
said
on to
that
add, "I
the
do
dude
not
that he
blame
shot.
him." Um,
I
it
wanna
says
shoot that son of a bitch too.
yeah. So I do not blame him. The boy he shot, Danny Hansford, was trouble with a capital T. Huh.
It wa Well, I don't know why this ends up on the list
Huh.
Yeah.
on the
2.
tours.
It's interesting. It is alleged that Williams became so distraught because apparently the ghost of Danny Hansford, the one he supposedly killed or allegedly killed, was haunting him. So, and it said it had been alleged that Williams became so distraught by Hansford's lurking spirit that he reached out to a voodoo practitioner to rid Hansford's soul from the house. According to some, they do not believe the voodoo practitioner's cleansing of the house worked, as in
See,
their minds it was the ghost of Danny Hansford who killed Jim Williams.
but I don't see the haunting aspect here. I mean, there's a lot of good stories of possible why this place could be haunted.
They talk about the ghost of Tommy Downs. Did you?
Oh, I didn't see that.
Um,
Dead.
yep.
Yes.
Okay, so um, okay, the tortured young soul. Oh, reenacting the final moments of his life. Okay, so apparently he fell off the roof of the house and died.
He's the one that ended up yeah, and landed on the wrought iron gate with the freaking thing going through his head.
Yep,
Okay. All right. Yeah, I remember. Okay, I remember that one.
yep. The sister of the young boy who died in the fall said that the story of her brother's death is indeed true. Thank you. She recalled that the medics had to cut the spike off the fence in an attempt to save his life. She still remembers seeing the medics rush her brother off to the hospital despite knowing that it was already too late. After all, how could a young child survive that fall, let alone being impaled?
Yeah. Yeah, it was what 30, 40 feet that he fell. And
Yeah,
then yeah, wrought iron going right through your head doesn't help.
yeah, no, that's not a good thing.
No, this isn't 911 where you can get away with that.
Right. So, but that looks like a residual. If
Yeah.
they see the boy fall off the roof
Yeah.
constantly,
But imagine driving down the street and seeing that.
dude, that would be crazy.
Like, holy shit! that that caused a car wreck right there.
Yeah.
So if we ever go to Savannah, you don't get to drive.
No, don't. You drive. I'll point stuff out. I'm like, holy shit! Oh god, that reminds me of Dash.
Oh, good old Dash.
Yeah. Oh, we were driving down the street, and uh, he all of a sudden's like, and I'm driving. He's in the passenger seat. And he's all of a sudden hitting me, and he's like, "Dave, turn around. You got to turn around." And I go, "Why?" And he goes, "Complimentary whores." And I go, "What?" He goes, "There's complimentary whores at the hotel."
Thanks.
And I'm like, "Complimentary whores? What are you talking about?" So I make a U-turn. I come around. I look, and I look up.
Around.
I look up at the marquee, and it's complimentary hors d'oeuvres.
Orders.
And it's so funny because he goes, "Look, it's complimentary hors d'oeuvres," and I'm like, "That's hors d'oeuvres, you nitwit." And he goes, "What are hors d'oeuvres?" I said, "It's food. It's like little snacks." He goes, "Free snacks? Let's go." So we ended up stopping at the hotel and getting complimentary hors, but it just he
Hello.
almost made he
So I
almost made
turned
me
around.
wreck. Yeah, he almost made me wreck. So I turned around anyway. I'm like, I got to see what the hell you're talking about.
To go.
So I turned around.
So I turned around. I mean, I didn't think that's what it was, but it's worth a look, right?
That's funny shit right there. No, I can see Dash doing that too.
Oh, you got to turn around. It's complimentary horrors. I'm like, what? Why would they advertise that? That makes no sense,
He's just trying to get the cops there. What the hell?
right? It
Oh,
was really
I've
funny.
heard of free HBO, but this is ridiculous.
It was ridiculous. Trying to find that other place, and I know I had it. I was looking at it.
The Sorrel Weed House?
Yeah.
Mm, I don't know. I don't know which one you're looking at. What? I want to know more about that brewery.
Yeah. Moon River Brewery. That's awesome. Do you want to take
Want
5
to
and
take
come
it
back?
then? Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah, we're almost at an hour. I think we're
Ooh.
okay
All
to
right,
take a
guys, we're
minute.
gonna take a quick break. We'll talk more about the rumored haunted locations of Savannah, Georgia. Enjoy the creepy music.
Isabel. There. Undecided. EO. Sure. Ring.
What's up? What's up? All right, we're back from break. So off subject. Why can't I hear you?
Myself. I muted myself.
Hey, there you are.
I didn't
uh,
want to. I didn't want to risk hearing me cough and sneeze and crap
I was like,
during the break.
I unmuted you. Why can't I hear you?
Yep. Yeah, I finally found my stuff on the Sorrel Weed House.
Oh, sorry, off subject. Daughter
Heck
and
yeah.
boyfriend went to see the new Marvel movie with Angelina Jolie.
Oh, the Eternals.
Yeah, they couldn't stay. They couldn't finish it.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
that's not good news.
Yeah, I don't think they casted it quite right.
Yeah.
The casting, Angelina's a good big name. Probably not the best name for a Marvel movie. I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I agree. I can get that.
Uh, but yeah,
I'm still gonna watch it, but yeah, I'm probably gonna wait for video on that one.
yeah.
But I am gonna go see Spider Man.
Yeah.
That's
That just
probably
came.
gonna. Yeah, it just came out. I'm probably gonna see that Christmas Day.
Yeah. I'm probably gonna take everybody to go see Sing 2.
Yeah.
Because I don't have to take everybody to go see the new Matrix movie because that'll be on HBO.
Hmm.
So I don't have to spend a ton of
Yeah.
money there.
Oh, just a whole bunch of no's.
I got a bunch of stuff.
Yep.
For some reason, it said Royal, but so okay, back to Savannah, Georgia. Those of you just joining us, we are talking about the
Hide
haunted
now.
locations of Savannah, Georgia.
You just
Why
say
would
hide now,
hide now?
because my wife just appeared. With the
Okay,
curtains on. She opened the curtains and it said hide now, and I was like,
perfect
the
timing.
ghost told me to hide. Yeah, she said I should hide.
Uh, so, if you're just joining us, we're talking about the haunted locations of Savannah, Georgia, all night tonight. So, Dave, you just found what she just pushed the
She
no
pushed
button.
she pushed my no button.
So you found your information on the Swirl Weed House finally.
Right. Finally. So
Sweet.
so yeah, the home was built by Francis Sorrell in the 1840s,
Yep.
where he lived with his wife Matilda.
Yeah.
Bert.
No.
Yes, he can still see
Francis,
me.
not Robert.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, come over here. I take that back. He can't see me.
I can't see nothing.
Come here. It's okay. No. Damn it.
Here. Oh, I'll do this. Watch. See? I can't see you at all.
Ah!
I can't see you.
Freezing.
Come here, honey. It's okay. She's gone.
It's all amazing. So all right, so
Huh?
Francis, not Robert.
Yeah, I was trying to get you to come back. I'll turn the camera off.
Here, watch. See, bring it over. Tell her John turned his camera off. Can't see you.
See, John just blacked out his screen. She's calling me a liar. Okay. Okay.
So
Okay.
Francis,
Sorrel Wheat House, built in the 1840s. Wife Matilda. Um, there, they had a slave
Visible.
named Molly,
yep,
and Francis Sorrel had an affair with her,
Green.
which Matilda discovered.
it's an invisible screen. Sorry,
Invisible screen. That's great.
because we keep turning our videos off.
Because we keep turning the videos off. But anyway, so Matilda reportedly killed herself by jumping from the second story balcony.
Yes, I thought it
And
was
then a
third
few weeks
story.
later, the slave hung herself in the carriage house.
Garage.
Garage. Carriage house. 1840s, there were no cars.
Close enough.
Close enough. Anyway, so it is said that both spirits still wander the home.
Yep.
Cell phone batteries are said to drain
Oh, I didn't see that one.
abnormally fast, especially in the basement.
Basement seems like the area, which is really
Well,
weird.
I gotta say, and that's
Here.
where most of the tunnels connect.
But do the tunnels connect
I don't know if they
there.
connect to that house in particular, but a lot of the buildings, like the brewery and the Pirate House and a few other places, all connected by these tunnels.
It's just weird that this place, the most prominent paranormal activity that you have, is in the basement, but yet
First.
the
But yet the
the,
deaths
the
took place.
tragedies of what happened there took place in totally different areas.
Right.
So what was going on in the basement
Is that
before
where
these
the
things
affair took
happened?
place?
I don't know because
Where she caught him? I don't know where they were.
I think she caught him in the room that he moved Molly into, which was right above
That makes
their
sense. Yeah, just my notes say that she caught him. It didn't say where.
boy. FYI, hello, Dorothy. Um, I don't know what that means.
I know, but that's on YouTube. Welcome, Dorothy.
Yeah, it's just interesting that everything happened in the basement. Like most of the activity that you get at this place is happening in the basement, but yet the tragedies happen other places.
Right.
I found that part interesting. Like, what were people doing in the basement?
What was going on in the basement?
Yeah.
Yeah. Apparently, the Ghost Hunters crew was there too.
Oh, really?
Yep.
I didn't know that. I didn't see that on my thing.
Yep. And I'm not sure what Condé Nast is, but I guess that's another show that they were on, and
Oh,
also on HGTV's If the Walls Could Talk.
really?
Yeah.
Huh. That's interesting. I didn't.
Right.
That's interesting that they'd be on HGTV though. I've never heard of HGTV having paranormal shows.
Yeah. I never heard of that show, but I guess it was on there. If Walls Could Talk.
What interests me though is the dark shadows that people see in this place. Because throughout all our discussions, through all our shows, it seems like dark shadows have different meanings for different things,
Right.
but dark shadows never have a meaning of a good thing. There's one thing that it's not. It's not good. But being the site of 1,000 people dying during the freaking siege of Savannah, I can see why there probably would be dark shadows there.
Right.
I
Something
wonder if
non-human could be
maybe
there.
that maybe that's why there's a lot of activity inside the basement.
Maybe.
I mean,
That's interesting.
the grounds of this place were literally soaked red before it was actually built on.
Hey,
Play, yeah, I'll play. So I don't know. It's an interesting place. It's probably so far that we've talked about, but we haven't talked about the River Brewery House because I want you to talk about that. Um, one of the most, I would say, haunted spots that we've talked about so far is the Surreal Weed House, and I think that's what really clocked me in when I was doing all my research because a lot of places were story driven, where this actually has paranormal experiences actually at the location.
Yeah. I think what's interesting is I mean about Savannah in general is a lot of the some reports that I see are just people walking down the street
Yeah,
and there's ghosts just
yeah,
walking around. Like it
yeah.
doesn't you don't have to be inside a house, you don't have to be at the cemetery or
No,
any of that. It's just like you're walking down the street, which is why a lot of the ghost tours they have, you're just walking down the street, and then all of a sudden, boop, there's a ghost, or something happens, and you're like, wow, it's just like right there.
What does Voy FYI mean? I know what FYI means.
I know what FYI means. I don't know what voy is.
Is that because we're old? Sorry. Uh, I've gotten kicked off YouTube once, so it's always like, what do you I don't know what that means. Uh, no, I want to hear about this river brewing place. Especially it has the actually attached doors to the actual tunnels itself. That place has to have a lot of activity in there.
Huh.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
He did
Well,
the
no. I was looking up voy to see if I could find something on it. I'm like, yeah, I'm old. Damn it. So
I
yeah,
know
moon
Hoyer,
river.
I understand that. Yeah. Someone who's watching, I
Yeah,
get uh,
but it's like FYI is like for your
for your
information. So it's
information.
like,
Yeah.
okay, so that's something that
I'm watching for your information. I'm watching. Maybe.
I,
I don't know.
I don't know. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching. No,
Huh,
it's
wow. Okay, so um, the Moon River Brewing Company was built in 1821 by Eleazar Early.
River
It
and
was the
Moon.
first. It was first used as a city hotel.
Really?
Savannah's prominent and wealthy residents regularly gathered here to share in fine spirits, which were imported from all over the globe. A number of notables people stayed at the hotel through the years, including James Audubon, who
Hmm.
was a guest at the hotel for over 6 months. The Savannah City Hotel was its last guest was in 1864, right before General Sherman claimed the city in the famous March to the Sea during the Civil War.
Really?
Yep. The building also served as a hospital during Savannah's numerous yellow fever outbreaks. This is what killed that the one lady's wife.
Addie.
Yeah, at Abercorn Street,
Yes.
Williams.
Whew.
Williams. Wilson.
Wilson. Williams was the
Yeah,
other one.
Mercer House, Mercer Williams house. Yeah, Wilson.
Hundreds of people, mostly children, reportedly died on the upper floors of the building during these outbreaks when the building functioned as a makeshift hospital. It is not surprising that child spirits are often seen in the Moon River Brewing Company. In more recent times, the building, which houses the Moon River Brewing Company, has been used as a storage space, office supply store, and actually sat vacant for almost 20 years until it was purchased in 1995. The Moon River Brewing Company came about just a few years later, and that is when the ghost stories started.
Okay. Okay.
Uh, Another area in the Moon River Brewing Company that gets a lot of attention is the basement. The most famous ghost at the Moon River Brewing Company, and the one the staff calls Toby, is seen in the basement, moving silently through the shadows. The basement does certainly have more than its share of ghostly encounters with the living. Many who go on tours through the brewing company make a stop in the basement. Um, One of the ghost tours a few months back, where a young woman started to panic. She claimed that her entire right hand side of her body became cold. She said she could hear voices but couldn't make out what they were saying. And they took her outside, at which point the experience ended.
Hmm.
And then, of course, the second floor. On the second floor of the brewing company, the famous shooting of James Stark took place. Shot by a town physician, Philip Minus, Stark was killed on the staircase, or was it in the kitchen? It says ask three people, you get three different answers. You will come to find that many of the stories in Savannah have different versions, all depending on whom you're talking to.
Hmm.
Stark's ghost is said to roam the main floor of the Moon River Brewing Company.
Is he related to, Iron Man?
Right?
Decided.
Undecided.
Undecided.
Perfect timing for that.
Okay, so yeah, on the upper floors, all sorts of ghostly and shadow events have been reported. The infamous Lady in White. Why are ghosts always dressed in white? Pe- People being pushed down the stairs, construction crews being chased out.
Wow.
Um, all happened on the upper floors of the brewing company. According to many sources, the fourth floor of the Moon River Brewing Company seems to harbor dark energy. It
Really?
is known that during the many yellow fever outbreaks in Savannah, um, that are part of the building, including the top floor, was used as a makeshift hospital. Of course, there were many deaths in the building for the people who lost their battle with the horrible disease.
Early age.
It, it killed without mercy. Oh, okay. So is the energy that people feel on the floor are the ghosts that people see and experience up there the result of
Why?
the death and suffering that occurred when the building was used as a hospital?
Hmm.
So there are reports of hearing children crying, um, shadow figures, like I read, pushed down the stairs, um, people getting hit, icy spots and stuff in the basement.
Damn.
This place is really active, according to what I've read.
Yeah. Being pushed down the
And
stairs.
yeah, well, and then of course the basement. This is where one of the tunnels lead into is the basement of this brewing company.
Yeah, I remember we were talking about that at the beginning of the show.
Yeah, so I think there's stuff there, and it
And
says that if you go down here to the basement, a shadow figure could follow you afterwards,
That's a scary thought.
right? Huh. Oh, so that was a duel.
The
The James
Toby,
Stark and Philip
James Stark.
Minus the murder. That was a duel.
Really?
Yeah, in
Oh,
1832.
gotta love good old duels. One shot.
Yeah, back in the early 1800s, dueling was considered a popular, gentlemanly method for settling disputes.
Yeah, yeah, very what much was. Odds are you weren't dying from it.
Yep.
I mean, it's just you get one shot. It's just one shot. You get one shot. You're not shooting them with
here.
a 9 mil or even a revolver.
Yep.
Says they're here. I hate saying that one because it always reminds me of Poltergeist. They're here.
I know, right? That's interesting. This is an interesting spot. I like this. It's probably one of my favorites in the town.
My thing is, uh, so it's actually a brew house now.
Yeah, it's a brewery now.
Do they have a lager? Do they have a stout? I should say.
Right? Do they have like, yeah, can we go in there, do the haunted tour, and then tour the
And then drink.
brewery and
Yeah,
get
yeah.
and yeah, I'm down for that for sure.
Do they have a stout? I mean, that's what's really gonna boil down for me.
Right.
Fine.
It says they have wine. They're chatty tonight.
Oh man. And we're getting intelligent responses.
So remember when it said I can't? And I was like, wow, why? What can't you do? And it said something before it. It said fight before it. It said fight, and then it said I can't.
I can't.
Like they're talking to each other.
Interesting.
I'm not a bootlegger. Oh, that's interesting. That's an interesting spot.
Yeah.
Joe.
I think the big thing is people are actually being touched in that place, and
Right.
then
Touched,
being
pushed,
followed.
ankles being grabbed, like somebody's grabbing their ankles.
And then the fact now, see, it doesn't say they get followed home, but this says they get followed out of the basement.
Right.
I would like to know how far out they're being followed.
Right. How far does that go?
Like, do they get attached all the way to their house? You know, that's what I'd be more worried about.
Huh.
You know, there's a mass grave in Savannah.
Yes.
I didn't know that. I didn't know there was a mass grave there from yellow fever.
Yeah.
But they get like shadow figures and green mists there too, in dancing balls of light. Now,
Yeah.
I don't know
Not
where
to
the
Coming.
mention the whole, Civil War battlefield
yeah,
stuff.
yeah. This is a what they see from yellow fever. This mass grave, but I couldn't. It didn't. I didn't. Well, I can't say I didn't see it, but I didn't see it. It could have said it, but I didn't see it. Which cemetery is that? Because there's like
Now. Homeless.
there was a weird. Uh, there's a picture of it, and you could tell it's like they built a cemetery around it. But I couldn't tell. I didn't see what cemetery was built around the mass grave.
Do you feel?
I felt good. How about you, Dave? How do you feel?
I feel like crap,
Juan.
but I'm
Yeah,
okay.
we got Juan. Juan's with us.
Well,
That's a weird name to come through.
yeah, that is a weird one. Huh. I wonder if it's the Colonial Park Cemetery.
Oh, that's what it said.
Huh.
Oh, it said before it said I'm coming, but before that it said angel, and then it said I'm coming. And then it said female, and then it said homeless. Sometimes I think they're having conversations with themselves.
Right?
I really feel like that. Sometimes I feel like I'm having conversations with myself too. Does it say?
Yep.
Does it say
It's
where the master is?
Colonial Park Cemetery.
Colonial Park. Okay.
Yep.
Hell. Work.
Because what I read here, it opened in 1750. Colonial Park is one of the oldest remaining burial grounds in the city. Although more than 10,000 people are buried there, fewer than 1,000 grave markers remain. Mass graves explain some of the missing headstones, but many of them were destroyed by vandals.
Mm, never good. Who would vandalize a gravesite?
Right? Um, One such specter is Rene Rondelet
Okay,
from the
that's the one who's yeah.
from the
I
late
didn't. I thought that
1800s.
was. For some reason, when I was reading that, I thought that was Bonaventure, but that's colonial.
That's
Okay.
colonial.
Yeah, townspeople straight out hung that dude in a tree in that park, in that cemetery.
Yeah. As the story goes, Rene murdered two girls and hid
Hmm.
their bodies in the tunnels below the cemetery.
Yeah, there's tunnels below the cemetery.
Yeah. When the locals found out, they hunted him down and killed him.
Yeah, he started off with killing animals, and then he went to killing kids. But they didn't find the bodies until after they hung them up.
Right.
They found them not too far away from where they hung them, but he said like the dude's 7 foot tall. That had to be a big ass tree. But he said to be walking around the cemetery. I'm telling you, see a 7 foot figure that you can see through coming at you. What the fuck
Yeah.
is he gonna do? That was a big dude. And for some reason, every time I think about this guy, he reminds me of Mice and Men. Like he just wasn't mentally all the way there. It seemed
Yeah.
like he started off with digging up people in the cemetery and snapping necks of freaking animals, and then he killed a girl and liked it, so he killed another girl. That what was that? That was
Huh.
crazy.
What happened?
There was a shadow right next to me. I thought it was my dog, but I'm the only
Oh,
one in here.
nice.
Yeah, I'm the only. My dogs aren't in here. I thought it was my dog. I can't say I saw it out of the corner of my eye because I was kind of looking that way because I was going to grab my beer. And I looked that way, went woo. I was like, oh, my dog's not there. What was that? God damn, it was Juan. You muted yourself.
Yeah, I did. I was blowing my nose. That says
Maybe.
when you walk on the sidewalks and streets extending beyond the cemetery, you're actually walking on graves that have been paved or bricked over.
Oh Jesus, that's crazy.
Huh.
Why didn't you put the streets around it?
Yeah. I don't know. Oh, because I mean, I guess there were no markers. They didn't have any headstones or anything, so
Damn, that would suck.
huh.
Sometimes I think I have more empathy for the dead than the living. Hey, how's it going? We're talking about Savannah, Georgia tonight.
Totally.
All about Savannah. Okay.
Um, but yeah, it says the cemetery closes at 9 and 8 p.m., 5 p.m. during the winter.
Okay, so nighttime.
Yeah, back in earlier times when it was open all night, it was a popular spot for hoodoo practitioners to perform ceremonies.
Oh, I did not know that. Hoodoo, not voodoo.
Correct.
What's the big difference between hoodoo and voodoo?
That's a very good question. Ha, I don't know the answer to that.
I don't know either. That's why I asked. That's interesting. Hoodoo and voodoo. I mean, is it just like the main
I
difference?
just know it's different. Huh. Oh, okay.
Not here.
Not here. Not here.
Okay, so hoodoo is a type of traditional magic which is most commonly used in African and South American regions. Voodoo is a black religion which uses black magic and other evil powers and is practiced in the Caribbean and other regions of South America.
Hmm. That's funny because mine said not here, and now yours is saying over here.
Interesting.
uh, so voodoo is the negative of hoodoo.
Yeah, that's what it seems like.
Is that basically like Christianity
Well,
versus
they say it says
Me about it.
versus satanic?
hoodoo is magic, but voodoo is a religion.
Oh, that's interesting. Well, it kind of makes a little sense to me. Rachel says it is not all black magic. No, well,
There's definitely a difference. It just says yeah, it just says a dark religion.
well, if it's not
It was
Christian,
formed as a mixture of Roman. Oh, as far as it was formed as a mixture of Roman Catholic and the traditional magical powers in the African regions.
so hoodoo is like a form of
This is voodoo.
voodoo. Oh, that's voodoo. Well,
Yeah,
yeah. If you really look into voodoo, like they talk to the saints and not the gods.
yeah.
It's there's a lot of because I did a show on that.
Recording.
Uh, they there's a lot of uh what's the word I'm
Bloody.
looking for? Where things are like the opposite of differences. Similarities between Christianity and voodoo, actually, basically based off the saints and things like that. So I thought that was actually pretty interesting when I was talking about that stuff. But not that I know anything about voodoo. I've never practiced it or anything like that. But yeah, I can see it voodoo being more religion based
Yeah,
and hoodoo being more magic based.
right.
That's interesting. And I can see hoodoo being very prominent in Savannah. I can see voodoo being very prominent in Savannah.
Sure.
Rachel just says yes.
And we have confirmation.
We have confirmation. Um, what was I gonna say? Hoodoo can be
I
bad too. Well,
But I
I
think yeah, it all depends on who's practicing it.
well yeah, in hoodoo being more magic driven, it's all about the person that's
Yeah.
utilizing the magic and what it's being utilized for. I should say.
Yeah, they call it conjure, so it's like it's a conjuration. So they have all these components and they conjure the spirits and stuff, but the voodoo is, you know,
Ritualistic.
ritualistic. I don't want to say sacrifices, but sacrifices do happen
Oh yeah,
in voodoo, but it's in order to um let's say it said a lot about possession versus calling the spirit to help, which is what hoodoo is. Voodoo is summoning the spirit to possess you.
It's interesting.
Which I thought was really interesting.
So do you think it'd probably be like a 50-50 mixture down there in Savannah? Rachel's gone to a hoodoo class. That would have been fun. Leave it to California to have a hoodoo class.
Right? Probably take it at UCLA.
By a white dude.
Yep. Hi, I'm Trevor. I'll be your hoodoo instructor today.
I'll be your hoodoo instructor. My
Today
name
we're
is
going to take
Trent.
these root vegetables and we're going to make a soup. And then we're going to cast a spell with them.
It's all about how you
Clean.
dice the carrots, man.
It's all about how you make the mirepoix.
Oh shit. Chick from New Orleans. Okay.
Which makes a lot of sense. New Orleans, I mean, voodoo and hoodoo are
You're
big there.
You asshat.
I'm going to say she was talking to you, not me.
Hello, my name is Trent. I'll be your hoodoo instructor
I'll be
today.
your hoodoo instructor today.
But New Orleans, that's I mean, they got, not to get off Savannah, but they got huge voodoo culture there and huge
Oh, yeah.
hoodoo culture there.
Yeah.
In fact, they have the mother of voodoo is buried out there.
Mm.
What the hell was her name? Help me out here, Rachel. What was the mother of voodoo? New Orleans. Dave's got Google up.
Totally. Marie Catherine Laveau.
Yeah, Laveau. I wanted to say LaSalle, and I'm like, no, that is
That's an NCIS, New Orleans.
Laveau. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude,
Herbalist. Yeah. Practitioner of voodoo, herbalist, and midwife who was renowned in New Orleans.
yeah.
Tell me about it.
Tell me about it, Dave.
I will tell you about it. Her daughter, Marie Laveau II, also practiced root work, conjure, which is hoodoo,
Yeah.
Native American, and African spiritualism.
Yeah. There you go.
Tell me about it.
Rachel put it up there. So, okay. We're almost 2 hours in.
Age. Higher.
Higher? Okay.
Did
We're
it say
almost 2
reach?
hours
Did
in.
it say? Okay, here we are. We're gonna do this. So
Tell me
But it did.
about it.
Okay, I'll tell you about it.
Okay. If there's one place that you would want to, because we talked about a bunch of different places here so far. If there's one place that you had to choose to go, like,
Where are you?
I'm in Colorado. Dave's in
I
California.
am not in Colorado.
If there's one place that you could choose, and you only get to choose one place in Savannah,
Ooh.
where would you go investigate?
I get to investigate the place.
You get to investigate the place.
It would be Moon River.
It'd be Moon River.
Yeah.
And that's just are you just basing that off of what we've talked about tonight, or that's the place you want to go investigate?
That's the place I want to go investigate.
I want to go investigate a plantation.
Just a plantation? Any one of them?
Well,
Hamilton Turner Inn. That's a good one.
ooh,
That's
that's
on
a
my list. That's
good-
on my list for next segment.
that's a good place.
Yeah. If yeah, I'd like to stay there and
and then go
investigate Moon
investigate.
River. Yeah,
Amateur, that's one of the more. That's like one of the oldest inns in Savannah.
yeah.
I didn't write nothing down about that place.
Shall we talk about it?
Well, next segment. Next segment. Rachel's yes. No, I seriously, I'd want to go.
But I like your plantation idea.
I'd love to
I
go
think
one of the old
I
plantations.
think that
And
would
investigate
be
Sure.
one of the places.
cool.
One because I want to know the history of the place.
There was
Um,
another pirate's house, maybe. Um, I'd like to just walk Calhoun Square,
Calvin,
or
yeah.
Who is she?
because
Who is she? That's Rachel. She's one of
that's
my
Rachel.
besties. One of the besties. Um, but a plantation, dude. There's just because they've turned a couple of them into more museum style places now because the historical factors of them. There's people that have bought in full plantations and they own all the property, but they allow people to go investigate
Hmm.
paranormal activity on. Uh, this is just off my research for Savannah, Georgia. Like people are just like, yeah, we own the house, we live in the house, but you can come in my house and investigate if you want. We'll go stay at the hotel for the night.
Yeah,
that it's Savannah, Georgia. And so that just just the historical factor and what I might get at a plantation. And I'm not even talking about being in the house. I'm talking about being on the 500 acres of this plantation,
yeah,
walking around and getting paranormal activity.
For you.
I think you might get a lot of residual, but I think you might get a lot
huge.
of
Yeah,
huge amount of intellectual there too. And that also brings back to the hoodoo and voodoo culture
Watching.
right.
and what they were doing at and it's a bad point of America, but these places had tons of slaves on them, and they practiced their own religions and things like that. In their housing quarters, just getting those aspects coming through and seeing what might pop through. I mean, they literally consider Savannah is the most cursed city in the world.
Yeah,
So just walking, like you were talking about, you can be walking down the street and see something paranormal. They say the whole city is cursed, and the outlying plantations of the city is cursed. So I mean, dude, that place would just be. And besides, I want to eat a peach. I think, versus I think I'd feel similar to going to Auschwitz, going onto a plantation in the deep south.
and
I think it'd be
yeah,
different, honestly.
I I see your point though. I
I
totally see your
understand.
point
I understand your point. I totally
because
understand
just
your
the
point
sheer sadness
of
of
being
being
a
there,
slave,
especially.
Picture.
but it's
Um,
I don't
but
know.
and what comes to mind is the movie Antebellum, starring Janelle Monáe, and basically, I don't want to spoil it, but
That's a good movie.
it's a trip, but it's a great story. Um, Basically, just as modern girl ends up a slave and has to go through that, and to to understand and with Janelle Monáe, I felt her pain.
Uncle Tom's Cabin.
Another
Well,
That's a very sad movie.
yeah, but I think the big difference for me for Auschwitz and going to the plantations into the deep south. So you have these slaves that are coming in. They had their total confusion, right? They don't know what's going on. All they know is they've been sold to the highest bidder, and they're coming get whipped on, get put to work in horrible living conditions. Whereas Auschwitz, you knew there
Yeah,
was no
you
confusion
were
of
you were
Auschwitz.
taken and you were put in that camp, and you
You
knew
knew
you were going to die.
you were going to die. I think that's
You
the big difference between Auschwitz and plantation, which is why I don't think you would get that. I don't. I don't have that familiar. You feel that familiar feel. I said familiar.
familiar,
She wrote feels familiar and similar.
similar.
Similar. I don't think you'd have that similar feel. I really don't, because there's two different types of
Yeah,
horrible. Two different types of horrible is just
yeah.
basically the way
I
to put it.
But yeah, well, I definitely see her point in that I think in both places you'll feel that level of sadness.
Yeah, the level of sadness and dread, I think you would feel that, but I think
But it would be
the confusion and
there's
think,
yeah, there's oh my god, where am I? Why am I being forced to do this?
yeah,
Versus oh crap, Hitler's a crazy bastard and he's gonna have me killed.
I'm going to die.
I'm going to die.
We'll debate it another day. I don't know. I think there's things
I think the level of sadness is there. I just think it's gonna be I think it's gonna be different.
just like, you know,
But yeah, I would get the same I
like
think
if
I
you
would get
went
the
to
same
Wounded Knee.
feelings there as I would at Auschwitz, but a totally different type of dread. Like um
See, I compare
where
Auschwitz to Wounded Knee,
yeah, I could see that.
except they didn't know that they were going to die until the point where they actually started shooting.
Yeah.
But the Trail of Tears,
Trail of Tears. Yeah.
that I would put that really close to Auschwitz.
Yeah. Cuz that's like um and it's hard to put this into words, but there's that there's that finality in that. You know, maybe there was no
Knowing.
hope.
It's the knowing,
Yeah, it's the okay, there is nothing I can do. But if there's just a glimmer of hope that you can get out of this, Underground Railroad, escape your slave master,
yeah,
whatever, there's just a glimmer of hope that you can get out of it.
yeah,
At Auschwitz, there wasn't.
you know,
It was, you know, it's something that I saw in my mother's eyes when
yeah,
when she was terminal with cancer. It's just the finality of it was like I
it's
know it's over.
it's
I
done.
know
Yeah.
I know I'm done.
So Holly says she agrees. I think I agree. I think different. I do not think I'd be able to go into Auschwitz personally. Had a bunch of family killed in gas chambers. I'm sorry to hear about that, Holly. It
Yeah.
was a
Well,
horrible time in the world. I mean,
my maternal side is all German Jew, so it's
I always forget about that too. That
um
that was a bad time in the world, and like I said, slavery is a bad stain in American history. There's a
yeah.
lot of bad stains in American history. Let me just say,
Americans we fucked up. We just
America. Let me just throw it out there. America did not become prominent by doing good things.
we're not yeah, we did not no.
Let
No,
me
I'm sorry. We did not do a good job
at
in the
becoming a
beginning with the
country.
Native
No, but
Americans, with slavery,
slavery.
with
I
it,
don't care if it was cool that the English were doing it. It was still wrong to do.
yeah,
uh, it was bad. It
yeah,
bad stain on the American mark there,
yeah.
and just Auschwitz bad stain in Germany. But I think the big difference is I think Germany owns it. better than America does.
Yeah, I agree with that, Rachel.
Every North
Slavery
Korea has had
slavery
slaves. Yeah,
was everywhere,
yeah. I
and
mean, I'm not gonna get into a debate, but shit, Irish are still used as slaves,
yeah.
still sold as slaves, and now you have sex slaves. I mean, now we have
Well,
totally
we
different
have
types of slavery.
yeah, we have human trafficking now. We
Human
have
trafficking still. I mean,
it's still out there.
yeah,
Man,
it's
sad.
horrible, horrible. Yeah,
History repeating itself. Yep.
it absolutely
I
is, and that's why I say Germany owns it better, because they
Yeah. Well, they
like,
were
we fucked up.
Germany's like, that was just him. That was just one guy.
That was
So we're
That's
good.
him.
It
We're
was just
okay with
him.
him.
We're smart. We're good.
Look, have
He
chocolate.
was bad. Yeah.
You don't like chocolate? Okay, go to Netherlands, have
Have
tulips.
have beer. Would you
Beer?
like a beer? Germans make great beer. Beer.
Yeah. Uh, no, back to Savannah, Georgia. Let's
Savannah,
get off
Georgia.
the list. Uh, no, but I
But
think
that's
that's
interesting. But you wouldn't pick one specific plantation,
I
right?
don't think
You're
I'd have
just
to.
no. You could just pretty much go to any one
Anyone
that's
that
still
let me
standing.
go stay a couple nights. When? Not next summer because I'm going to California.
Oh, warm beer. Don't say that. Oh,
Oh yeah.
warm beer. I hate warm beer.
uh yeah, I don't think I would have to pick a specific. I really don't think I'd have to pick a specific plantation. I know
Yeah.
there's probably famous plantations out there. I'm pretty sure I can just pull up a famous plantation near around Savannah, Georgia that is probably prominent for paranormal. I just don't think I would have to pick a specific plantation to get any type of paranormal response.
Yeah.
I don't think I would because every plantation was the same. I don't care
Yeah. Well, and
what
you,
plantation was.
yeah, you're gonna get the same. Yeah, you get the same thing.
I
Yeah.
get some more prominent people at other plantations, but every plantation I think would give me an experience.
Right. Yeah. Probably similar experiences. Like you drive in one car.
Yeah, if you
You
drove
gotta
one
know how.
car, you drove them all, all right?
Some cars are faster than others, but
Yeah.
you're driving a car, so it's
Yeah.
not.
Yeah. So I don't think I'd have to pick it. And I know there's prominent uh, plantations around Savannah, and I'm pretty sure they've made that 37 list that you got there. But I just don't think I would have to pick a specific one. I just because of all the places that I want to go, um, a plantation is kind of unique in its own. Most of them are like city dwelling places, and a plantation it's different. It's different. That's kind of because we can go to a lot of different bars and get something. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you're talking about the River Moon Brewing Company. Very, it looks awesome. That I mean, that place and the Sorrel Weed House, since the things that we've talked about so far seem to be like those are it. You know what I mean?
Right.
For haunted locations, they check boxes,
Yeah.
but a plantation just hits you so differently than any one of these other places that we're talking about. That I
Yeah.
think that's why I'd if I was you gonna give me a chance to go investigate a place, I'm gonna choose a plantation every time in Savannah. Because not only will you get the aspect of what happened during the slavery during on these plantations, but you also get a lot of the Civil War issues that were going on in these
Yeah.
plantations. A lot of these plantations had battles fought on them. I mean, you're going to get a lot of different things there. And I think that's what makes me want to go investigate one of those. But yeah, but yeah, when I'm staying there, if I can't stay the night at the plantation, yeah, we'll go to the inn. We'll stay the night at the inn, go stay a couple nights at the plantation, go stay the night again and finish up.
Yep.
And where are you going to drink after the show? Well, we're gonna go to the River Brewery, River Moon Brewery. It all works, man. We can make it all work.
Yeah, we can make it all happen. Just give me. Mm,
A week to go spend in Savannah. Yeah,
yeah.
hell yeah. So that's 2 hours. So when we come back, let's talk about that inn
Yep.
and go from there. Wonder if you could take a metal detector to the plantation. I have actually, Rachel, I have actually heard of people taking metal detectors to the plantation. And the problem with the metal detectors, they don't really pick up good on the lead. You actually have to get a different type of detector for them, and they cost way more money. But yeah, that would be fun to go to too. Bring one of those too. All right, so we're gonna take a quick break, and we'll be right back, and we're gonna talk a whole lot more. What did that say?
So what should I do? Just wait. We'll be
Have
back in a few minutes.
kick back, wait, drink a beer. We'll be back in a few minutes, and we'll continue on with Savannah, Georgia. Enjoy the music.
Joseph. Sorry. watching.
What's that?
What's up? All right. We are back from break, everybody. So, where do you want to start out segment 3 there, bud?
Huh. Well, that's interesting. There's still so many places to talk about. We're definitely going to talk about the inn, but I'm thinking we maybe save that for last.
Want to say that towards the end? All right.
Yeah. So just a real quick one, just because of the last name. There's the Andrew Lowe House.
Any relation?
I don't know. Probably not, because the last name is not spelled the same.
How's it spelled?
It's just Low.
That's what I thought. Okay, so what is prominent about the Andrew Lowe house?
So, let's see.
While Dave's looking
And
this up, just want to let
Andrew,
you all know we're talking everything about Savannah, Georgia. If you're just joining us for tonight, we're talking about quite a few different places and even got on a little history thing. So, again, if you want to chime in, go ahead on the chat box, or if you want to, you can click the link at the beginning of the chat and join FaceTime, or there's a phone number in there if you want to call in and join in that way. Be welcome to have your opinion and thoughts on any haunted locations of Savannah, Georgia. Go ahead, Dave.
Here.
Andrew Loja. They're
Okay,
here, Dave. They're
they're here.
here.
Great, they're here. So at the
Be
age of
quiet.
16, really?
What was that?
Sound like it just told me to be quiet. They're here. Be quiet.
So Andrew Lowe House. Oh, when?
Andrew Lowe. So at the age of 16, Andrew Lowe left Scotland to come to America.
Okay.
As soon as he arrived in Savannah, Georgia, he went straight to work at his uncle's cotton firm. He would later become a partner in the business. But in those first few years, nothing, and there was nothing else he wanted to become successful in the cotton business.
Okay.
By 1843, Lowe was a young man with the world as oyster. He was wealthy, man with clout, and the only thing left to do was marry and build a home. So he married Sarah Cecile Hunter and
Sure. Sure.
began to dream about building a new mansion in Savannah's most prominent residential district. So construction
15.
of
No, 16.
16. Good try though. So the house was designed in 1848.
1848. Okay.
Okay, by a person by the name of John Norris.
He built a couple
Yeah,
houses.
he
Out.
designed a few homes in Savannah, and this was another thing. Was there a connection there because of this guy Norris? But anyway,
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he actually helped design the Cyril Wheat House.
yeah, I think so too.
Okay, keep going. Keep
Okay, so um, so there's famous people that visited the Andrew Lowe house. One of which is William Makepeace Thackeray.
Playing.
He can't be that famous. I haven't heard of that guy.
From 1853 to 1856, Thackeray became a frequent visitor of the Andrew Lowe house while giving lecture tours. Ironically, though, Thackeray was not at all a good student back in England.
Really?
In fact, he did
Einstein.
not have a college degree, but he was still speaking at colleges.
Really? Einstein type guy, huh?
Yeah. Anyway, lost all his fortune. He had some hard times. But that brings me to the next guy is Robert E. Lee.
Like General Lee?
Yeah.
Really?
In 1870, Robert E. Lee visited Savannah, Georgia, and Andrew Lowe. He arrived at the train depot in town with his daughter, Agnes. They stepped off the train only to find a massive crowd waiting for him.
Of course.
Yeah. Let's see. Once the crowd let Lee and his daughter through, he adjourned to the home of General Lawton for dinner before going to the Andrew Lowe house for some much needed sleep. So he stayed at the Andrew Lowe house, Robert E. Lee.
Oh wow.
Okay. Um, there's some kind of link to the Girl Scouts being formed connected to this house.
Really?
Yeah, I'm trying to get that.
That's interesting.
Um, let's see. New legacy is born. Okay, so it talks about Juliet Gordon Lowe, which I'm guessing is the daughter.
Daughter of
Yeah,
Sarah
so
Andrew?
they formed the first Girl Scout troop in 1913.
Really?
And I guess this house was the centerpiece of that because the
Hell.
son was already in the Boy Scouts. The daughter wanted to be in Scouts too, so they formed the Girl Scouts
Huh.
um, because of this.
So
I'm paraphrasing. There could be some.
Andrew Lowe's
So
parents, or I'm sorry,
Andrew Lowe's daughter,
Louise Lowe, right?
yeah, Juliet
Juliet,
Gordon Lowe.
Juliet Lowe. Parents. So Sarah Hunter and Andrew Lowe created the
Agree.
Boy Scout or Girl
Agreed.
Scouts.
Yep. So on March 12th, 1912, she recruited 17 girls to sign up for the American Girl Guides. The first meeting was in the parlor of the Andrew Lowe House.
Hmm.
By 1913, the Girl Guides became known as the Girl Scouts.
That's that's pretty interesting, and crazy at the same time. That's kind of cool.
Okay, so let's get
All
to the
right,
ghosts.
let's get to the paranormal
Let's
aspect
get
of
to the
it.
paranormal. Okay, so
That's some awesome history,
uh,
though.
when it so it said so there's something called the ghostly butler. According to former employees of the Andrew Lowe House, one of the most commonly spotted spirits happens to be the ghost named Tom. He's a friendly enough spirit, content to continue playing butler in the afterlife. Objects in the house are being moved, as though Tom wishes to replace them to their original position when he was alive. While performing his ghostly duties, his footsteps can be heard plodding around all levels of the house. They have even spotted this ghostly butler standing at the top of the stairwell. He is always dressed in period clothing and has the general appearance of an older, stately man.
Okay,
Also reported is the spirit of Robert E. Lee.
really?
So, let's see. I believe in paranormal. Okay, the ghost of Confederate Robert E. Lee has decided to stick around the Andrew Lowe House. Those who have seen this Robert E. Lee look-alike have claimed him to be an older gentleman dressed in a fine suit and tie. There have been no reports of the spirit interacting with the living in any way, leading many to believe that it's a case of residual energy.
Yeah, I'd say it'd
Dress.
probably be more residual, but my
Right.
phone just said dangerous, so I don't know. Then again, it said
Real.
disagreed and agreed, and now it says real. So
I think that maybe
Horror.
they're arguing, they're
and then
deciding whether it's real or not.
now it said horror. So
All right.
I tell you, they're talking to themselves. I'm just catching parts of their conversation.
Yep.
Uh,
Yeah, I think we're just catching bits and pieces of that. So one of
Greeting.
them,
well, hello to you too.
greetings to you. One of the most frequent of paranormal phenomena to occur on the Andrew Lowe House is the eerie rocking chair that moves on its own. The chair itself is a family heirloom that once belonged to the Lowe
Indian.
family. Many believe that Andrew Lowe himself is set up in the chair, relaxing and enjoying the fact that so many people love to visit his home.
They turn this place into like a museum or
Humiliate.
what? Humiliate.
Humiliate?
What was
That's a new one.
it?
So they believe that it's either the ghost of Andrew Lowe or Robert E. Lee that sits in the chair.
I would probably go more with Andrew Lowe
I
because
agree with that.
he only went there once. But uh, I'll write it down.
Yeah.
Uh, is this place like more like a museum now, or I would have to think it'd be
Let's
more
see.
like a museum because
Trying to
it's
say if you're planning to
the
visit the
founding
Andrew Lowe
place.
house, well, if you do, okay, so they have a historical tour. So yeah, I'm
Yeah,
thinking it's
it's
kind of
the
a
founding
museum.
place of the Girl Scouts. I mean, come on,
Yeah,
that's interesting to me. That kind of blows my mind. I would never thought that
so
we'd come across the founding place of the Girl Scouts as part of our paranormal
right.
conversation.
So it said many guests visiting the Andrew Lowe house. Okay, so um, what was the daughter's name? Juliet Gordon Lowe. Her nickname was Daisy.
I'm trying.
You're trying.
I'm
I'm trying
trying to.
to.
Um, Many guests visiting the Angelou house are caught with the scent of perfume on the grand staircase. They believe that this is left over from Andrew Lowe's second wife, Mary.
Oh, had Mary there, huh?
The scent of perfume or percent, or perhaps the scent of the perfume, belongs to the spirit of Juliet Daisy Gordon Lowe, whose ghost is said to still haunt the house. Visitors and staff have claimed to spot an elderly woman reclining on a bed in one of the rooms.
Ooh.
Many believe this is Daisy. Um, Daisy and Andrew both
Cat.
died in the house. Daisy Lowe died in the Andrew Lowe house on July 27th, 1927.
How?
I don't know. I'm
Mm.
pretty sure it was natural causes.
Oh, mine said heart attack, so that's why I said how.
Oh,
I was
okay.
talking about that.
It doesn't say.
In pain.
I'm in pain. I hate seeing that.
Maybe it was a heart attack.
Explain why they're in pain. Oh, that's a lot of you're talking. You said we're just gonna do this one real quick, but there's a lot of shit going on in this
There's
fucking
there's some
house,
shit going on.
man.
I was like, ooh, Andrew Lowe house. I want to talk about that. And I didn't read the whole thing. I was just like, ooh, Andrew Lowe. So yeah, there's some shit going on in that house.
And just
I
because
like
it's
it. That might be.
LOW doesn't mean you can't be related. A lot of
It's
people
true.
add letters to their names throughout the years,
It's
or
definitely
take
true.
letters off.
Right.
For you, all it's an E.
Right.
So I mean, it's not a real hard thing to change there.
Right.
But that
So it
that
could
that's
be.
an interesting place. I besides the paranormal aspect, kind of just it really does blow my mind. This is like the birthplace of the Girl Scouts.
Yeah.
That's fascinating. I wouldn't. I have 3 daughters, and they were not big on Girl Scouts. We tried it; they didn't like it, so we
Yeah.
weren't gonna make them keep going. Um,
Oh,
so
you.
I didn't really know a lot of information on where they were founded and everything like that. But I didn't. I would never have thought Savannah, Georgia, was the birthplace of the Girl Scouts. That's the last place I would have thought that the Girl Scouts would be created. Back east, maybe a little further, New York area.
I know it's interesting. But yeah, that's let's see, that was about
Almost
um
110 years
that's
ago.
just a few years behind when women had the right to vote, if I remember right.
Say when was the amendment for women's suffrage? 1916.
Yeah, I thought it was 16 or 18.
I think it's 1916.
Again.
Pagan. I'm kind of close to pagan. Germanic pagan, not Roman pagan.
Huh. August 26, 1920.
20. Oh, really?
Yep.
No, I was thinking 16 for some reason. I don't know why, but
It said um New York adopted women's suffrage in 1917,
okay.
and then President Woodrow Wilson supported it in 1918.
But it actually became an amendment
It actually
in
became an
1920,
amendment in 1920.
and that is the 18th Amendment. Bless you.
Did you come?
Why did you come? Oh, I came to do a show. Why'd you come? Unless they're talking to another spirit. I'm not sure. You messing with your phone? Oh, no, you're typing.
Yeah, 19th Amendment.
19th Amendment. I was close. Been a while since I took constitutional and amendments in class.
Right.
I always, speaking of amendments, I always think it's funny that people forget uh, how much is involved in like the First Amendment. It's so much more than just the right of free speech. It's your right of assembly. It's your freedom of religion. It's
Yeah, it's basically, all your freedoms. Here you go.
all your freedoms is pretty much the First Amendment. And the Second Amendment is I get to hold a gun.
So if I don't like what you're saying, I can shoot you.
Yeah. Ugh. I don't.
So yeah, Andrew Low House is pretty cool, huh?
Yeah, that's a pretty cool spot you got there, Dave.
Means
What?
What was that?
Chains. No, this is not a Rihanna song. So that's a pretty good little spot. You got an elderly woman on a bed. You got objects being moved. You got a dude in the stairwell. Tom. They think is Tom.
Yeah, I think this Butler.
You got a
Dude in a rocking
rocking
chair.
chair.
Rocking chair that
Which
moves.
I think is more Andrew than Robert E. Lee, but
Yep. Thinking it's a lot of residual though.
I would feel it feels a lot of residual, but the fact that the butler moves stuff back to where it's supposed to be, that feels more intelligent to me. And
please.
you know how I feel about move. If you have the power to move objects, you have the power to move. Touch people. So
Yeah.
that's a good one. That's a good one. A lot better than what I thought it was going to be when you say you want to hit on this real quick.
Yeah, that turned out better than I thought.
Why did it save? Oh, I don't know.
So
It
there's
said false.
when I know we're going to talk about the Hamilton Turner Inn,
Or
but there's a couple other inns.
There's quite a few inns in Savannah that come up
feeling.
haunted
Yeah.
in that place. Um, I mean, the Turner Inn is just one of them, but the Hamilton Turner Inn is said to be one of the most haunted in not just Savannah,
Be.
Georgia, but probably one of the most haunted in the United States.
Yeah, for sure. The Hamilton Turner Inn it's gnarly. That's going to be a nice one.
Yeah. Um, I didn't write nothing down about that place either. I saw it. I was like, well, maybe if we get to it. There's so many other spots to talk about.
Yeah. But yeah,
And
there's
that's what's
the
about
there's the
this.
1790 Inn.
Yeah, 1790 in.
Um gosh, the old Harbor Inn,
Okay, I
the
didn't read
Foley
that on
House
that.
Inn,
I read about the Foley House Inn.
the Marshall House Hotel.
There's another hotel though. There's a big one. There's like a there's like it's like considered like the most prominent hotel in Savannah. I can't remember the name of it. Let me see if I can pull it up.
Oh yeah, Pirate's House. I kind of wanted to talk about that, but that's okay. Yeah, 1790 in. God, I think that's in here. Did I write that down twice? Yep, I wrote it down twice. Oh, the Savannah Theater.
Is it the River Street? I think it might be the River Street Inn. I don't think you can stay in the Marshall House anymore.
No, I don't think so. Yeah, I have a thing about River Street in general, but not the hotel.
Hmm. Oh, what do you want to talk about now? Because I think we already talked about all the stuff I wrote down.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah. Let's talk about the Pirate's House.
Pirate's House?
Yeah. So the Pirate's House is the oldest surviving building in the state of Georgia.
Oh, that's not good.
The there's a portion of the building that was constructed in 1734 and is still standing today.
Really?
Yep.
Is it still used today? That's the better question.
That's a very good question. So let's see. Oh, the house is mentioned in Treasure Island.
Really?
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's a restaurant. The restaurant's how the Pirate's House currently operates as a restaurant. And you can find early edition pages of the manuscript Treasure Island in the restaurant.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting. Like the original Treasure Island movie
Yeah.
and book.
Yeah. That's interesting. Back in the mid 1800s, privateers reportedly targeted drunken men at the bar, knocked them over the head, and then hauled them unconscious through the tunnels below the restaurant and out to sea.
There we go to those tunnels again.
Yep. When the men awoke, they found themselves forced to work on pirate ships as imprisoned sailors.
And that sucks.
Yeah, it says the spirits of many sailors are said to haunt the building. Multiple employees have reported feeling a sensation of being watched, only to turn around and see a man who then faded into thin air.
Really?
Employees also hear moans originating from the tunnels and the sounds of boots echoing across wooden floorboards when the restaurant is nearly empty.
Interesting.
Isn't it though? Let's see what else I can find on Pirate's House. I know I have it. Pirate's House. Yo ho, a pirate's life for me. Yeah, again, there's another connection to the tunnels, which is interesting.
Yeah, it's another connection to the tunnels, right? And these tunnels, they seem to be coming up a lot during the
Yeah,
show.
yeah,
It really sucks that you can't go in them. You can walk all over them, but you can't go in them.
yeah.
And how many basements of these places are haunted, which are also lead you down to the
Lead to
tunnels,
the tunnels.
including the actual Central Park Cemetery, which has the tunnels running underneath them. It's interesting.
Huh. Oh, that's interesting. So there are rumors that the ghost of Captain Flint is haunting the pirate's house.
Captain Flint, really?
Yeah, that's the character from Treasure Island.
Yeah.
As the story goes, Captain Flint died in the house, and people have said that they've run into Captain Flint.
I thought he
Huh?
was just a made up character.
Right.
I've always thought he was
They
a
and
made.
they say that Captain Flint's a fictional character. So it says in the book Treasure Island, it does make mention of Captain Flint being in this building, and that he died in Savannah.
Hmm. So was Captain Flint based off someone in Savannah, Georgia? Then
I don't think so. They say it's a fictional character, but what if this is a manifestation of someone of multiple people's beliefs? So if
and we've
so many
talked
people
about that
believe
before.
that this Captain Flint character is real, could
Could an
an
entity take
could an
form?
entity be
And,
formed because of this?
and again, I said the entity has to already be there, but take that form because we talked about that when we were talking
The
about
dead.
rakes.
Oh yeah, right.
If you're talking on there, you're dead. Um, and it's very possible that there could have been some mass entity that was there, and people believe, they talk about Captain Flint so much that it took that form of Captain Flint to where people see him,
Yeah.
bringing a fictional character to life. That's interesting. You're dying over there.
Or it could be, or it could be someone completely different. Maybe some kind of other pirate or
And they
something
just
like that.
named him Captain
And
Flint
they just named him
because
Captain
the
Flint from the book.
Treasure Island book, not movie,
Yeah.
but book. I don't think I ever read that book. Definitely watched the movie.
Definitely watch the movie with some really famous actor was really young in the. Christian Bale
Christian Bale.
was
Oh,
was
that's
the
right.
boy.
Yeah, he was. God, yeah, he was the boy. I just, and then of course there's the Muppets Treasure Island.
Right. Of course, that's where I'm going.
uh,
Muppets.
because you have Curry in it. How dare you give me the black mark on the holiest of all pages? I love that movie. uh, that might be my favorite part. He made me do it. You dare give me the black mark on the holiest of pages? Oh,
Uh,
I love that movie. I thought
Oh,
Tim Curry, not to get off subject, but I thought Tim Curry died, but he's not. He's not dead. He's like,
no, he's alive.
he's a paraplegic now.
Yeah.
I thought he passed away when that accident occurred,
Nope.
but he's alive and kicking. Good to know that though.
Well, not kicking, but he's
Well,
alive. Lord, I apologize.
that was fucked up. Well, not kicking.
I, I felt bad as soon as I said it.
Oh God. Oh, we're going to hell.
Yeah. It's like a comedian was like talking about his dog, and then asked this lady, and she's like, she's talking about her dog, and he's like, "Oh, what's your dog's name?" And she goes, She goes, "It's dead." And I go, and he goes, "Well, it must be a bitch to walk." And I'm just cracking up. And he goes, "It doesn't matter what you call him, he ain't coming."
It ain't coming.
He's still alive and kicking. Well, he's not kicking, but
Not kicking.
he's not kicking, but he's alive.
Oh my god. Oh, hold on a second. Oh,
Ah,
that was good. Whew.
Tim Curry's a great actor. I love him,
I love
but
Tim Curry. Oh,
and he'd probably get a kick out of that.
yeah, he would
I'm
probably
just
laugh.
saying, he'd probably laugh. He'd probably get a kick out of that.
Yeah, knowing Tim Curry, well, at least based off what I know of Tim Curry, he'd probably like laugh pretty good at that one.
Yeah, he'd probably get a good laugh out of it.
Uh, whew. I got composed myself. That was good.
I think my timing on it was the best. Oh,
Oh, he's not kicking.
he's not kicking, but he's alive.
Oh yeah, let's just say football is not his favorite sport. Oh god, we gotta
We gotta-
stop.
let's, in when we were watching the movie 13 Ghosts, and there's that scene where the glass door's shut and the lawyer gets split in half.
Yeah.
My daughter and I were joking the rest of the night. During the movie, we're sitting there. I'm like, boy, he seems like half the man he used to be. And she goes, "Yeah, well, at least he gets in half price at the movies." And we were just like laughing. We're laughing during the movie, and then at the end of the movie, the nanny goes, "Did the lawyer split?" And we just died laughing. We were just like, "Oh my god!" on the floor, just laughing. Not.
Oh.
My phone does not. So I'm sorry. It's not funny. I'm sorry. But yeah, it's kind of funny. Whew.
Yeah, quit thinking about it. Oh god, that was good.
Yeah. Okay. So, um, where were we?
We got off on
We got off on some kind of
manifest,
tangent. I've just
manifesting
was the
Captain
Andrew
Planet.
Lowe house the last one we talked about, or we talked about something else?
Pirate's House.
Pirate's house. Okay. So that's about it for the Pirate's house. But it's interesting the connection with the tunnels, and I thought I'd bring that up. Kind of goes with the what we first talked about.
Yeah, tunnels seem pretty prominent throughout all of Savannah there.
Right. So perhaps the most visited location in the city of Savannah is the haunted 1790 Inn.
1790 Inn.
Yeah.
It's actually most visited, like
The
tourists.
most visited by ghost tours and pub crawls and all that stuff.
Really?
Yeah.
Why is that?
So it is said to be haunted by a former voodoo practitioner who once worked at the inn.
Really?
As for the most paranormally active room in the property is room 204, where a female spirit refuses to leave.
That's weird. It just said Christopher.
Oh, that's interesting.
It's very interesting because that's my daughter's boyfriend's name.
Interesting. So the okay, so this is the ghost of Anne. Anne has been seen on the top floor of the inn, room 204 specifically. Anne, as she is fondly called by the staff, seems to enjoy messing with people and their belongings. Guests who stay in room 204 regularly report having their belongings messed with, rearranged, or even come up missing. People also say they feel the presence of Anne while staying in the room. Sheets have been tugged by an unseen
Oh,
force. The sobs of a woman crying have emanated from the dark corners of the room after the lights go out. It is no wonder that that people who come to Savannah hoping for an
Is
encounter will stay in that room. So I guess it's still possible to stay in that room.
it says they're abused.
Oh,
So Anne abuses people.
I guess. Well, tugging on my sheets.
Yeah, messing with my shit.
Okay, so as the story goes, there was a woman living in the building, which makes up the east part of the property. Different variations of the story pop up, but the premise is always the same: suffering from a loss of a loved one and threw herself over the railing of the second story balcony. Her
Hmm.
body smashed into the brick courtyard below, taking her life. But as it is with all of them, it says there are a few problems with the story.
Okay.
The first Anne associated with the 1790 inn is Anne White, the wife of Steele White. Steele was the gentleman who was responsible for building the first two parts of the building.
Okay.
However, Steele was not around to finish the construction. He died in a horse riding accident in 1823. His widow, Anne, was obviously heartbroken. This fits the story being told so far. However, after Steele died, she moved from the house. She moved out to the Isle of Hope, south of Savannah. There she lived with her sister and her brother in law for a number of years. In addition to this, the part of the building that Anne reportedly jumped from wasn't built until 1888.
Oh. Okay.
These two
So
facts seem so this seems to rule out that Anne White is that ghost.
yeah, but the way you were talking about, I was a little confused. Is Anne the voodoo practitioner? Practitioner?
No,
Okay.
this is the ghost of Anne. So let's get to the voodoo practitioner. Another ghost which was reported at 1790 over the years seems to enjoy taking residence in the kitchen. The ghost is much
Taking
more
residence
sinister
in
in
the
nature.
kitchen? Like poof, they disappeared, or
Huh? Poof, what?
you said she enjoys taking residence in the kitchen.
This
Like,
is the voodoo practitioner.
yeah, but how's she taking them?
hear you.
She taking up residence. She
Oh, taking up residence.
that's where this spirit is staying.
Okay, okay, all right.
What did you say? Oh, not okay. Okay, so this ghost much more sinister in nature than the ghost which is sometimes seen upstairs. Apparently, the ghost which haunts the kitchen isn't very fond of women being in the kitchen.
Really?
Pots have been thrown, people have
Oh,
been pushed or touched, and pranks have been pulled on the women who are working in or around the kitchen. Staff members who have been working late at night in the area of the bar or kitchen have had unnerving things happen to them. While all alone in the 1790, they will hear the sounds of someone moving in the kitchen, pots banging together, and the sound of metal jingling.
why do they blame that on the voodoo woman?
I don't know. The staff believes this is the ghost of a servant who used to serve the family who lived in the house. The woman in question, whose name that cannot be tracked down, was believed to be a practitioner of voodoo. If this is true, does her power of voodoo help fuel the hauntings which are reported in the kitchen area?
Hmm.
So it definitely seems to be a darker spirit, and it definitely seems intelligent.
I wouldn't necessarily crack it up to be voodoo though. The
No, I
voodoo.
wouldn't crack it up to be voodoo either. It doesn't seem like it's.
Yes.
Hmm,
It's interesting.
Tombstone.
that's a nice one.
Yeah. Why that came out. Uh yeah, I don't know why they would crack that up to be. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't. It doesn't track.
Unless like, the
Fine.
the one that partaked in practicing voodoo was the woman that was always in the kitchen. But again, it would feel weird that it seems weird that it gets mad at the women in the kitchen.
Right. I was wondering that. Huh,
Does the ghost whack you on your hands if you dip your finger on what's being cooked? That's a good question too.
I don't know. The one at the fort that we talked about last week would probably do that.
Oh yeah. Straight up, get out my kitchen. Yeah, the one of the fort, I could see her doing that. I mean, she would come up and start stirring it. Don't you be adding no more rosemary.
Don't you be putting any more spices in that.
I don't know. I don't know where the voodoo thing comes up with this. Women can be territorial in the kitchen. Absolutely correct, Rachel. Women can be very territorial in their kitchen.
Yes. I
I
think
guess that could be the reason why women get pushed and messed with inside the kitchen. But I just
because
don't
she
see
doesn't want
the.
him to take over, or just
Yeah,
it's like
another
her
woman,
spot.
another female in your kitchen is that's you don't let that shit happen. Shit that happens during Thanksgiving. I mean,
Now only I'm the one cooking in the kitchen for Thanksgiving. So, but yeah, I'm the same way. Get out of my kitchen.
yeah,
Touching my
don't you be
stuff.
touching that.
Don't be touching that. Don't be stirring that.
If I want to
Put-
start it, I want to start it.
Yeah,
Yeah, no,
flip those over, man. They're burning.
I get that, but I don't know. I don't see the voodoo.
I don't see the voodoo aspect. Why would they think that that spirit is the voodoo practitioner?
Based off what you said, I wouldn't. I don't feel a voodoo aspect to it.
Yeah,
I feel definitely a kitchen aspect to it, and that's
yeah.
going to be anybody that runs a
Could definitely
kitchen.
be someone negative for sure,
So
but I don't know if the voodoo comes into play.
yeah,
And even if it was a voodoo practitioner, is that the reason why the ghost is there? I don't think so.
Qualified.
qualified. Is that
Am
like
I,
agreed
does that
or?
mean I'm qualified to answer that, or
I don't know. I feel like bringing up voodoo is a ploy to get people to the hotel.
yeah, yeah, I can see that
Because nothing
because it piqued my
happened.
interest when I first read it.
Yeah,
Oh, voodoo practitioner, cool.
clickbait.
Which kind of makes sense as to why it's one of the most visited places. I
Yeah,
think.
yeah, it's clickbait.
Yeah,
But based off of everything that you talked about, I wouldn't have put anything voodoo in what was happening.
no,
I see a a female cook that's territorial over a kitchen. I got a distraught female entity in room 204.
Right.
Um, but I nowhere in what you're talking about would I perceive any of this to be any type of voodoo practitioner or anything. I'm sorry, you practice voodoo in life, you practice voodoo in death, and you're gonna know it. People around you are gonna know it.
Yeah.
It's a lifestyle. It's like native culture. It's a lifestyle. That's why I don't like saying voodoo religion. I always say voodoo culture. It's a culture. It's a lifestyle. When you practice this is your life. So I don't know. I wouldn't. I don't see anything voodoo in this aspect, but it definitely has some haunt to it, and the fact
Yeah.
that you can be touched always. If you can be touched in a good way, you can be touched in a bad way. So it's
Yeah.
that's
And it seems like you know, it's two sides of the coin.
yeah,
The ghost upstairs seems to touch in a good way.
yeah. Unless she's fucking with your shit
Unless
or
she,
stealing
she
your
moves your
shit.
stuff, she does stuff, she's playful. The one downstairs is like, if you're a woman
This is my kitchen.
in
Get the
and
fuck
if it's my kitchen,
out.
throwing pots at you and stuff.
Yeah, there's a territorial aspect, and then
Yeah,
there's
it's not like
and then there's a
that one
mystery
lady at
aspect.
Leavenworth, but um but yeah, no, I see the haunt level, but I don't see the voodoo. I don't it doesn't make any sense.
All right, so let's talk about Hamilton.
Hamilton.
Hamilton Turner Inn.
Oh boy, there's a huge history here.
I bet. I think it's like one of the oldest. I think it is the oldest hotel in Savannah.
So it was constructed in 1873
Okay, maybe not the oldest.
and nicknamed the Grand Victorian Lady. Excuse me, I'm going to cough for a second. And I'm back.
The Grand Victorian Lady.
Lady.
That's a name.
So the inn is sometimes affectionately referred to as the mansion. It was the first house in Savannah to install electricity,
Oh, okay,
only 4 years after Thomas Edison invented the light bulb.
that's pretty quick.
Oh, but apparently Mr. Hamilton, Samuel Pugh Hamilton, was the president of Bush Electric Light and Power at the time.
Closed.
It's closed now.
Yeah. Legend has it the people of Savannah would gather just outside of the house in the evening to watch the lights turn on.
Oh, like look, electricity.
Yeah, law. Um,
Year is it?
2021.
2021.
Uh, you gotta think back in what
Huh.
1870s. That was pretty remarkable. We take it. I mean, we turn a light on. It's like turn the fucking light on.
Yeah.
Back then, it was like,
Like it
did
was
you
like,
see that?
wow, that's like magic. You don't have to light anything or put any fuel in anything. Um, it was one of the only homes to in town to survive the Savannah fire of 1898
Really?
because it had a tin roof, so it was resistant to the embers.
Yeah, it can get roof fire. That's interesting.
During the Civil War, Hamilton was a naval officer who successfully ran the Yankee blockade into Savannah Harbor.
The
He was
room.
paid extremely well for his service and thus became wealthy from delivering goods and supplies that were so desperately needed.
Hmm.
Can you say war profiteer? I
Yeah,
guess I can.
yes,
He,
pretty good.
I did, I said that pretty well. He married Sarah Virginia Stillings in 1866. They had 6 children, 4 together, and 2 boys from the first marriage, from Sarah's first marriage to William Franklin Hamilton. Yep, as in Samuel's brother.
Huh. Huh.
Huh.
Uncle is now dad. That's odd.
Very weird. So, lover of art, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so, this is another one on Abercorn Street. Hamilton Turner Mansion at 330 Abercorn Street.
Oh, that's only a
Hamilton
block
Turner
away.
home, yeah, was rumored to be the early inspiration behind Walt Disney's Haunted Mansion.
Love that feature at Disney. The brother died. Give her a break. Well, that
Okay, brother died, so,
well, I mean, look
brother
at
moves in on it.
what was that movie? Mel Gibson movie with the Revolutionary War.
Oh, the Patriot.
Patriot. Yeah, like he is in love with his sister-in-law.
Yeah,
All right, I gave him a
I know.
break.
I know
Break's
I
over.
have that. Break's over. Huh. So, yeah, rumor has it that Walt Disney himself sat on a bench in front of the Hamilton Turner Mansion and sketched it. So, I thought that
Oh,
was interesting.
that's interesting. Jane. Hello, Jane.
So, let's see. Ghost City Tours founder, no, I'm not going to kneel, and CEO Tim Nealon recalls his own ghostly encounter at the Hamilton Turner Inn. Almost 6 years ago, I spent a night at the inn. It was before the Ghost City tours. I wasn't there looking for ghosts. I simply wanted to stay and heard the accommodations were amazing. Blah, 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 yakety smackety. About 2 in the morning, I was awoken by the sound of footsteps walking past my bed. They were very clear and unmistakable. It sounded like someone was walking right towards me, laying in bed. It was a very unnerving experience. The room was very dark, and I couldn't tell if it was an actual person or something else. I laid in bed for a few seconds, and the footsteps stopped. I asked, "Is anyone there?" Okay. And the paranormal investigator in me started to kick in. Interesting. So there's a whole bunch of ghostly accounts. I kind of wanted to get a more of a feel.
Game.
Scream. Ah.
Ah, so yeah, high society dinners and dances. As the story goes, the children of the house would be sent upstairs to play in the billiards room, but they did not want to be left out of the fun, so they would roll billiard balls down the stairs to give them an excuse to go down and glimpse at the party. Today, guests report hearing billiard balls rattling down the stairs.
Oh wow.
And on some nights, you may see a man standing on the roof smoking a cigar. It's the sign of a great party when the guest doesn't want to leave. So let's see. A man named Brent Berry went on record about a time he experienced paranormal activity in 1969 when he was 17 and an aircraft mechanic stationed at Hunter Army Airfield.
Christopher.
It's twice it said Christopher now.
Huh. Let's see. He ventured out to Savannah. Okay, so the first floor. Huh.
He's over there. Don't fuck with him.
The first floor was really dirty, broken glass and debris everywhere. So I went upstairs to the second floor, and it was better, but I just didn't feel right. I went up to the third floor, and it seemed like a good place to sleep. So I found a corner in one of the rooms and laid down. But it wasn't long before he began to hear noises in the mansion. So I'm guessing this was when it was abandoned before it became
The
an inn.
actual Hamilton
Hamilton
Turner in
Turner Inn, yeah.
That is
So
1969 though.
1969.
That's crazy.
It's like a year before I was born.
Yeah.
So tearing, creaking, and thumping noises. Later at the night, I started hearing different kinds of sounds, bumping, and some slow squeaking sounds.
Evidently it's the devil.
Devil, huh? All right. The noises downstairs seemed like they were getting closer to me. It sounded like someone was trying to slowly and quietly sneak up the stairs.
Hmm.
No. Huh. Interesting. So it says there's much more to the ghost stories of Hamilton Turner Inn. However, we save our best stories for the ghost tours. Okay. So they have tours of the inn. And they have a tour called the Beyond Good and Evil tour.
Qualified.
Qualified again.
Huh? Uh,
I would have thought there would be more on that place.
huh. I think they're hiding it.
Wouldn't surprise me either.
Huh.
All right.
Another reference to the Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil. Paranormal activities inside the inn include the sounds of children laughing, billiard balls rolling down around the upper floors, and sightings of strange cigar smoking men sitting on the roof.
It seems
What's the
like the
date?
I forgot. December 18th.
December 18th. Thank you.
All right. So we've been talking about Savannah, Georgia all night.
All night long. And it's been fun. And there's more places too. This was
Oh
just
yeah. We
I don't think we
really
covered
touched-
half of the places that I had on my list.
yeah, the place is filled. We haven't even began to touch Savannah, Georgia.
Yep.
So like we like to do with all the haunted places that we like to talk about.
We like to score them.
Exactly. So if you had to give Savannah a haunted level, what would you give it?
Oh, 100 easy.
Right?
If I could go above 100, I would go above 100.
Yeah, we're maxed out for the haunted level.
We're maxed out for the haunted.
um, which is really hard to do,
Yeah.
but not for Savannah.
No.
I I think you can go anywhere and have a paranormal experience in this place.
Yeah. Like I said, I think you could just walk down the street and run into something.
Yeah, you're
Kings.
Ubering wherever you go
Children.
there.
I
uh,
heard something with children. What did it say before that?
uh, Greetings, children.
Greetings,
Uh,
children.
it's nice to feel young.
It is.
uh, okay, so I guess the harder question then is the danger
Is
level
the
of
danger level.
Savannah. And I think it really depends on where you go.
It
And
depends on where you go. Yeah.
I'll automatically start
It says
Savannah
do
at
not.
a
My
50.
phone said do not.
Do not do not go to Savannah. I'm gonna start it automatically at a 50 and go from there. Just for the
Oh.
Yeah.
simple fact that okay, mine says no. Do I need to
And
start
mine says do
60?
not. Again.
Uh just because if you can move an object, you can touch me. If you can touch me in a good way, you can touch me in a bad way.
Yeah,
Uh
people have been pushed, ankles have
yeah.
been grabbed.
I didn't hear anything truly really bad about
Yeah, I
being
haven't,
touched.
you know, aside from rumors of the demonic, I haven't heard of anything demonic.
No.
I think
It's
there
yours.
should definitely be
Uh,
non-human entities there.
maybe I don't know what you got. It's I think it has a potential to have a negative entities there.
Yeah. With
Uh,
the
different
with the
practices, different
possible
religion.
voodoo, yeah, different
Uh,
practices and magic and things like that there. Um
um,
the the slavery and the amount of
oh,
sadness and
yeah,
pain that are
that's
there.
fine. It said, "Is this yours?" I said, "I didn't know what it had," and it said "bed," and I said, "Yeah, it's mine."
That's my bad.
Did.
uh, did yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I did.
Um,
Uh,
so yeah, so the danger level is interesting because of the location.
and we didn't, man, we didn't. I
I
really
think
wanted to talk about the vampire culture there.
I know we didn't even get to talk about that, and I kind of wanted to talk more about the cemeteries. This is one
Yeah,
location where I really want to go to the cemeteries here.
yeah, cemetery is phenomenal too.
Um, and we talked a couple of them, but
Yeah,
there's a few. There's like 4 or 5 really good cemeteries
yes,
that you can visit and you can just walk through and just like crazy old
oh yeah,
headstones and crypts and mass graves and just so much from the yellow fever epidemic,
yeah, yeah.
so much death there.
Man, see,
I like the Moon River Brewing Company because of its multiplicity. It started out as a hotel, then was a hospital where all the yellow fever people died, and then it
yeah,
became a brewery. So there's a lot of history there,
I'm
and I
telling
think
you,
there's
the Andrew Lowe House is fascinating too.
yeah,
I found, I mean, and the Sorrel Weed House is was another good place we talked about tonight.
yeah,
Um,
and there's we just scratched the surface of the houses
yeah,
that are said to be haunted there. Because I've got like mm, the Davenport House,
yeah.
uh, 12 West Oglethorpe, the Hampton Lilliebridge House,
I
the
mean, it
haunted
just gives
Willing House.
addresses. You know, the place is haunted where they're just giving you addresses. I'm just
Yeah,
telling you. I don't know about
The Owens Thomas
432
House.
Abercorn Street, but
Yeah,
because of I think
there's just
Abercorn.
the
I don't know.
Kehoe House. Oh my goodness, there's so many and then all the squares: Madison Square, Lafayette Square, Kowloon Square, Wright Square. There's supposed to be hauntings all through there.
Oh yeah,
Um, I don't think I want
there's.
to max out the danger level though.
I would probably put the danger level there. Okay, I'd put the danger level at like a 60. You know, just above that mid level because if, like I said, if you can touch me, you can hurt me.
Yeah,
Um, but I think it has that potential of being higher.
yeah. I was going 65, 70 um because of that potential.
There.
Well, I think with that potential, I think potential into the 90s.
Yeah.
I think it has potential into the 90s of being dangerous. But
Yeah, if you're the right person in the right place, like, for example, if you're a woman and you're in the kitchen,
You get banged upside your head with a
you
pot.
get banged up. You can get banged up beside the head with you get walloped, or or if you're upstairs at
Or
the
we're
Moon
going, I
River
don't know what
Brewery, you get
you're
pushed
talking
down
about.
the stairs.
Yeah. I don't know what
I
you're talking
think,
about. It
or if
I
you're in
would
the pirate house, you get whopped onside your head and shipped out to sea.
yeah. I think the potential there into the high 90s, I would
Yeah,
say.
I think the potential there. Yeah, I think the potential there can go into the 90s for sure.
Just because I don't know. I mean, there's so much history and tragedy and everything. And then you compound all that with religion and cultures and hate. It has that potential of not just manifestation of the paranormal of humans there, but the paranormal demonic there.
Yeah,
So I
I
think
don't. I mean, I don't see the demonic, but
because of the negative energy.
I don't see why it can't be possible.
I see it because of all the negative history that's there. You always have with a leech. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
All I'm gonna say is though, go to
I
Savannah.
definitely think there's curses there. I definitely think there's a curse there. I think there's
Yeah,
some
I
kind of
think the land is cursed,
yeah.
whether it be by native or by
The Civil War battles, the blood that was
African.
shed,
Uh,
the voodoo and hoodoo
yeah,
stuff that's been practiced there.
yeah,
Um, yeah, I think the potential there is great, but I really think you could throw a rock in Savannah and hit something
yeah,
paranormal.
yeah. Based off what we talked about tonight, low danger level, potential high danger levels.
Yeah,
Um, Based off what we didn't talk about tonight, and then the haunted level, yeah, it's 100. You can go anywhere. You can literally probably walk down the street and have a paranormal experience.
yeah,
Especially for sensitive.
yeah.
Uh,
If you don't even have to stay anywhere. You can just walk down the street and be like, holy crap. Yeah, if you're any type
yeah,
of sensitive, this town
chew
will tear you
you up.
apart.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it'll chew you up. All
So
right,
yeah,
guys.
I want to go. I'm gonna go.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
going there.
Go to Savannah. You want to get a paranormal experience. There's a couple big cities in the United States that you can go and just have an experience walking down the street. Savannah is one of them. Recommend you head there and
Yeah.
enjoy yourself.
And
And tell
it
me how
said
the
something
beaches
about
are.
if they actually pay you to move there.
Really?
If yeah, there's some kind of deal where if you and I don't have it on my screen, but I would when I was looking up Savannah, Georgia, they're like, "Oh yeah, they'll pay you like 2 grand for your moving cost
Oh,
to
wow.
move to Savannah, Georgia."
That's interesting too.
Yeah. So
Uh,
like talking
yeah.
about, if you work remotely, you can just go boop.
There's
Yeah, I
there's Savannah or so in
yeah, that's
Hamilton.
like
Yeah.
rivaling Stanley Hotel, but
Yeah. I'd much rather stay at Stanley than Hamilton, but that's just my preference because that's like number one on my bucket list. So,
yeah, Stanley Hotel is number 2 on mine. I
yeah,
really wish I would have been able to go
our
there.
1 and 2 swaps.
Our 1 and 2 swaps.
My two is
Um,
Penhurst. So,
Hiding.
yeah, my 1 is Penhurst, 2 is Stanley. Um,
oh
but
yeah.
I'm really looking forward if,
Don't go there.
next summer we get to don't go there. No.
Every
Next
time we talk
summer,
about the Stanley, it tells us
I,
not to go, man. I'm telling you.
and then mine just said do not,
Do not.
don't go there, do not. Um, but um, Linda Vista,
Oh yeah.
I'm hoping we get
Well,
to go there next
that's.
summer.
I'm hoping the summer coming up that we get our chance. So,
Yeah.
uh, all right, guys. So that's episode 29. Episode 30, the Christmas
Can't.
special,
Our Christmas special.
will be
Gather
on
around the fire, kids. We're about to
Friday.
tell a story.
It'll be on Friday, Christmas Eve.
Right.
Uh, Christmas night, I gotta work, so just found that out 2 days ago. So I think was it 2 days ago I texted you about that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, 2 days ago I found out I'm working Christmas. So, Christmas Eve, which will be next Friday on the 24th, if y'all don't know what Christmas Eve date is.
Christmas Eve.
We'll be same time though, 7 Mountain Time, 6 Pacific, 9 Eastern, 8 Central, however you want, whatever zip code or
Wherever you're at.
time frame is.
Yep.
We will be live on Christmas Eve, and we will be. That's gonna be a fun show.
It's
That's
going to
gonna
be
be a
interesting.
great, fun Christmas show.
Right.
Please join us. I would love the feedback off of the bullshit that's gonna be coming out of my mouth. But enjoyed all the conversation tonight. Enjoyed the interaction. Savannah is awesome.
Yep. Thank you, Rachel and Holly, for
Yeah,
typing in and joining
appreciate
us in our voyeur from YouTube.
Yeah, that was weird.
Yep.
But it's nice seeing people show up from YouTube.
Yeah. And subscribe to us on YouTube.
Yeah, subscribe on YouTube. So we again want to thank Anchor for allowing us to take the audio portion of this live cast and put it out there to everybody, whether it be on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Breaker, Pocket Cast, or Radio Public. If you can't catch the live show, you can always click the listen button on either one of those and listen to our show while you're driving or just kicking back, folding laundry, whatever you want to do. But when you do it, go ahead and hit the like.
Domestic stuff.
Hit the like and subscribe there as well. And then I want to thank Restream for allowing us to do the multicast where we can be on our Spirits to Spirits Facebook page, our YouTube page, D Live, Twitch, Vaughn Live, and Twitter all at the same time, coming to you guys live so you can watch it any way you want. So we are going to say goodnight for tonight for episode 29, and we'll be back on the 24th for episode 30. God, I'm going to love that show. Dave, any closing remarks from you, bud?
No, Savannah's the shit, bro. I definitely want to go there, and next week is going to be interesting. I'm looking forward to having many laughs and complaints
all at the same time
for next week.
Yeah.
So definitely stick with us.
All right, guys, we're gonna say goodnight for tonight. Again, appreciate everyone that came on and everybody that's gonna listen later down the road. Enjoy your Saturday evening. We are out.
Behind you.
Not behind me.